Action. They have classes for old people. It's called Veterans and Masters. I know this because I am one, right? In this sport, if you ride a stand-up at 30, they call you a veteran. You're like an old business at 30. And then at 40, they call you a master's rider. So we got classes for everyone. And at 10 years old, you can start racing as a kid on a stand-up. It's cool. You're going to see the juniors racing in a few minutes. Well, thank you for coming, Miranda. Thank you for coming out. I'd like to thank all the little people, like Miranda, for making this moment possible. That's not driving you nuts right in your ear? See, that guy can't even hear me. That's awesome. It's not driving him nuts. Jen. I had to get a different shirt because apparently I'm much larger than the medium I thought I was. But I put it up in the Tower of Power. Come on down, ladies. Welcome to the beach. Come on down. Welcome to the beach. There's a jet ski race going on. It's awesome. It's going to be incredible. Personal watercraft race brought to you by Pro Watercross. This is the national tour, man. Joe's in the house. Just letting you know, racers, the pit board is up there by the ambulance. Pit board's by the ambulance. So it's just up the hill there where the pit board is, you know, way over there. Kind of out of your way. But it's all good. Do we have the speakers turned down in the pits so that people can hear it out on the end? Letting you know that this is a live stream, too. This is a live stream that you can listen to on 91.5 FM. You can check out the racing action. You can hear all the updates. 91.5 FM if you got a FM radio. Absolutely. Oh, my. That's why I come to the beach.
Check. Hey. All right, riders, we've got a little housekeeping for you. I just want to let you know that we're going to start the racing with the juniors. It's going to be junior ski, juniors. That'll be our first race, and then we're going to go right from there to the pro show. Now, look, if you are wondering what the race order is, if you will look right behind you up towards the boardwalk and right in front of the ambulance, where the ambulance is parked right now, and the ambassadors for Atlantic City. That's where the race board is. That's the pit boards. That's got all your races. So you guys can see what the order is. I will also be telling you the order from here, but I wanted to make sure that you knew you had that option. I also want to say a special shout out to Squatch, Jack Link's in the house. And don't forget to drop by and say hi to my new best friend, Dane. And he is my best friend because he's got like the coolest truck in Jersey right now, because it is literally, I love the way they've done the wrap on that with the Jack Link Squatch. So we are gonna squatch the town tonight. I just kill myself, I'm so funny. Don't forget we got tons of sampling down there. Jack Link's one of our great sponsors for the 2016 Pro Watercross National Tour. And don't forget to head down there and get some squats. You guys are going to love that stuff. All right, again, riders, we're going to finish up our practice. Sport is should be on the water right now, and then we're going to be going to the juniors. And then as soon as the juniors practice, we're going to bring them right back, and we're going to fire off with the first race, which just happens to be the juniors. And it's going to be junior ski stock 10-12 and junior ski stock 13-15. Again, first race this morning, riders, is going to be junior ski stock 10-12. Holy moly, there's a lot of people out there. And junior ski stock 13-15, and then we're going right to our pro show, which, by the way, if you guys want to join us on that, pro show is going to be, oh gosh, there's a ton of ways you can watch this. You could go to the live stream, and our technician for that on streaming247.com is the one and only Rick Ignacio. He's also, because he's that cool, going to probably take that Facebook Live for you. You are also able to find it on YouTube. You can go to prowatercross.com. You can go to livestreaming247.com. And we're going to be going live. In fact, we're starting up live here real directly. Are we live now, sir? Oh, we're on like Donkey Kong. He doesn't mess around. So we've already got the live stream going. Plus, we have Long Haul Productions here. Long Haul Productions, by the way, are the guys that film for CBS. If you see some of those great sports shows on CBS, the quality talent behind that, some of those great shows is none other than Long Haul Productions. And they are here filming for us as well for TV. And they are also going to be filming the Charleston National Championship and the World Finals for CBS. So you'll get a chance to catch this action on TV as well. But you, right now, right here in Atlantic City, are going to have the opportunity to see it live, which personally I think is kind of the best way to do it, especially when you are working on that awesome tan of yours. Again, riders, junior ski stock and junior ski 13-15, you're going to be the next practice, and you're going to be the first race. Hey, Mikey, Mr. Remar.
Hey, how are you? You know, I just went down through the pits, and I saw a bunch of cute little kids wearing hardcore riding gear, and I reminded them that their race is going to be right after their practice. I tell you what, they're so cute. Some of them are only this tall, which still is pretty close to my height.
Well, that tall, which is about what you're pointing at, 3 feet, is 3 feet of micro missile. You guys will get the opportunity to watch them. I would put some of these kids up against some of the expert riders, and guarantee they're going to be quite competitive. Again, riders, I do want to remind you, we have 2 piers out here that are straight out right now because dealing with some of the tide conditions. You can barely see them, but do be aware of those things when you're coming through. Those 2 piers go out pretty far. I just want to remind you of that, just a rider safety tip. Again, juniors are going to be up next.
Yeah, it looks like they're pulling the machines off the racks right now. So we're getting ready to have junior practice. So all junior ski practice is going to go on out there, and then we're going to go directly, of course, into their racing.
Yep, so it'll be a short practice for you. We just wanted you to have the opportunity to see the track and warm up, and then that'll also make it easy for staging. We'll just have the guys right down there, and we'll take the juniors right back behind the so-called rubber band, which will be non-existent because we've got surf today.
Well, you know what's cool, too, Don? I was talking to Carson Batchelder, the race director, and he said, hey, make sure to remind the racers that today, because of the waves and being in the surf here in Atlantic City, we're going to allow runabout riders to have 6 holders and ski riders to have 4 and juniors to start in the tray at the start if they want to.
Right. So, again, I want to do a big shout-out for our crew. Carson Batchelder, by the way, really very lucky to have him join us on the national tour this year, Remar. He's just a quality race director. He's done races all around the world, China, Thailand. He has been a big part of the sport. Used to race, obviously, got his own championship titles, world title. I don't know how many times we've announced for him on the line, but to have him now back here helping the racers and being the race director is a pretty big honor for us.
Yeah, you know, and to add to his credentials, too, I heard that there was a time, an era, where he built a pretty fast boat, too. I think one of his boats were highly sought after at the World Finals, and so he's all those things.
Are you going to drop names now? Because I think I know a few. already causing a ruckus up in the tower. Fortunately, the microphone wasn't on. Even it was, we're pretty PC here. I want to thank you so much for joining the Watercross family. Now, it's going to sound pretty weird in just a second because we're going to intro the live stream. So it may sound like we're not talking directly to you because I just want to make sure the guys on the live stream get an opportunity to see all you guys and see the racing, but then we'll take it right back to the live show. But I just want to let you guys know what we're about to do. Hey, you guys, welcome to the 2016 Pro Watercross National Tour brought to you by Sea-Doo. My gosh, what a gorgeous location. We kind of put this venue together last minute. We started working on this, obviously, early this year, but we finally got this thing together. Here we are, thanks to the hard work of AJ and all the crew in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Brand new faces. And speaking of new faces, Mike Young is not here this weekend, but we've got another Mike, and man, what an awesome blast from the past. A gentleman that announced for the World Finals. His credentials are a mile long, used to be a racer, an incredibly fast racer, also an amazing announcer. I'm blessed to have Mike Remar in the house. How you doing, bud?
Wow, how do I follow up that? Thank you, Don Dawson. Don Dawson and I used to work the World Finals back in the day. Been working together a lot, and I'll tell you what, you hit the nail right on the head with this venue, Atlantic City. Incredible casinos, beaches, and of course, a surf race, Don.
Yeah, I tell you, it's going to be awesome. Let's give a quick recap on where we are and how the heck we got here this weekend. So you're looking at the 5th round for the National Tour, and the last round at St. George, Utah was all about upsets, Mike. Until then, Dustin Farthing could not put a bond rail wrong. That last weekend had some issues with the boat. All of a sudden, we had Troy Snyder at the top of the pack. It was really cool to see some of the racing and a lot of upsets. And then, as if it couldn't get more crazy, we've got Tyron Matsouras with 200 points coming into this round. Dustin Matsouras with 199 points. David Rediger in third with 165. And the only person I've seen from Commander thus far is David Rediger this weekend. Bam.
I had heard that there were a few people maybe missing and that the points might shake up this week. You take that, you add in the mixture of the waves. This course has been tough to keep in place. The crew set it up last night and had to completely reconfigure it today to account for the waves and, of course, the change in the tides.
Yeah, it's going to make that even more interesting. I'll tell you who else is in the house this weekend. Chris McCluggage, once again, getting ready to go for another surf race. Gentleman who just relocated down to Florida. Now he's hanging out with us in New Jersey. That's just some of the cool action. I don't want to give it all away. We're going to start it up with some junior racing this morning, and then we're going to go straight to the pro show. So I'm going to let Rick Ignacio kind of show you around Atlantic City before we get going. I'm Don Dawson. It's Mike Remar.
Thank you very much. Rick, it's all you.
Watch our shooting to
Also want to do a big shout out for our buddy Rick Ignacio. Man, I tell you what, I got to share this story with you guys. So we're hanging out at St. George, 113 degrees. We've got Rick hidden underneath the tower because it was so hot. And we were just kind of, going along on our regular deal with the live stream, right? And we were doing live on Facebook, which Rick Ignacio is a techno god. Hi, how are you guys doing? Anyway, so it's Mitch. Mitch and Eileen in the house. Where's Eileen, my girl? Eileen, you have a cowboy hat. There is something so scary about that. I'll tell you about Eileen in just a minute. You guys come up to the tower whenever you're ready. The way to get in the tower is right around this side.
Does she sometimes fall over?
Yeah, Eileen. What do you call a girl with one leg shorter than the other? Eileen. Art. I've told her that joke a million times. Okay, so back to the story. So Rick Ignacio goes live on Facebook. And you know how everybody, Mike, hopes to go viral, right? That's kind of the big, I want to make a thing go viral. Well, we really hadn't had that happen, right? Until St. George, for some crazy reason, it literally took off. We had over 330,000 views in St. George, Utah, which incidentally, we had the lowest turnout of that because it's kind of a remote location. It's the middle of the country, but we're truly trying to accommodate all of the different locations around the U.S. It was kind of one of the smaller venues, beautiful, really beautiful. And suddenly, live Facebook took off. 330,000 views for Pro Watercross. I got goosebumps just thinking about it. It's pretty awesome to see my guys and your guys and all these racers get that kind of recognition because, it's been a long time we've been a part of the sport.
It really is, and if you heard AJ talking about it this morning at the riders meeting, he set a goal of 1 million, right? So it was 330-some thousand live hits then, and we're looking to go upwards of 1 million. So that's what we're going to try to pull off while we're here in Atlantic City this weekend. Can we do it?
Oh, I don't know. I think we're going to probably need a little help. So it's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a little shout out with about 10,000 of my closest friends right here in Jersey. And I'm going to encourage you to jump on. Go to prowatercross.com, be a part of the live stream. Let me know your name, and I'll give you a shout-out, in fact. Or if you'd like to get your friends involved, have them go to prowatercross.com. And let's just see if we can't raise the roof on this.
Raise the roof. That's what I'm talking about. You folks right out here on the beach, go to prowatercross.com. You'll be able to check out the live feed. That live feed happening right here from the Tower of Power at Atlantic City. And like Dawn said, if you're willing to do that, come on over here and let us know your name. We'll give you a shout out so you can be famous on prowatercross.com during the live feed that's happening right here today.
All right, you guys, we are finishing up with this junior practice, and I don't want to leave them sitting on that beach too long, so we're going to go ahead and get rolling. I need to have Brian O'Rourke up to the tower, please. If I can have Brian O'Rourke from Team Faith to the Tower of Power. Thank you so much, sir. Brian O'Rourke to the Tower of Power. All race officials, I need to have you set up and ready to go. Juniors, we're finishing up this practice. We've got the red flag out, so we're going to have these lineups. So I'd have all the junior handle holders, all the junior holders down on the line, please. All the juniors holders down on the line. And we're about ready to go with this pro show. Bill Haig, welcome to Atlantic City, bud. Good to see you again. AJ Lewenstra, the protege from Hurricane Racing, gentleman that came out of Kansas. Man, what a big part of racing history. You probably remember him, don't you? Remember the Lewinstras?
Absolutely, I remember the Lewinstras. I think I raced a couple of them back in the day. This is the youngest.
This is the youngest.
This is the baby.
You probably remember Justin.
I do remember Justin. I raced against him.
Yeah, look how tall. AJ's actually taller than Justin. Right? I think you are taller than Justin now. Pretty close. Let's say that Justin's listening in, and so I'll just say he's taller so Justin can correct me. There we go. All right, juniors need to have these guys down the line, all the holders for the juniors. And Brian O'Rourke, I need to have you in the tower. Oh, there you come. Thank you, bud. You're so awesome. We are so blessed, by the way, to have these guys, Team Faith. Little background on them. I know you know them as well, Remar. Man, it's like old home week for you, isn't it?
It is. It's like going back to a high school reunion, right?
That fits. You are follically challenged now.
Yeah, I am follically challenged. In fact, thank you for pointing that out. A reminder to follically challenged people, though, like Brian, you need to have some sunblock on top of your melon. I sport 30 on top of my head and 4 on the rest. And then make sure that you hydrate while you're out there as well. Hydrate and sunblock, people. Going to be 100 degrees today.
I'm just saying you look very sexy.
And I know it.
What's it like, who was the guy that, you know, the Triple X actor, no hair?
Vince Diesel?
That's the one.
Vin Diesel.
That's who you look like.
Yeah, I'm about as buff as him, too. You know, you don't want to have me take this shirt off and make people look bad near me, so I'm just going to keep it on. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, we are getting ready to kick off the first race of the day, and nothing better to start it off with than our junior riders. That's right, our junior riders. You can be 10 years old and race on a ski, and I was just talking to a little boy down there at the end of the beach, and he said he's 7, but he's going to train hard for the next 3 years, and when he turns 10, his mom and dad are going to let him out on the tour. You know, this gives us a chance, too, to check out some of our sponsors. We'd like to thank Hidden Trails, Sea-Doo, Jet Lift, presenting sponsor, official tote and tour of the World Championships. Shark Energy Drink. You see they got the signage out there, Shark Energy Drink. I had one of those this morning. That was absolutely phenomenal. Also want to point out there's some things going on up here next to the Tower of Power. We got the ProWatercross.com t-shirt booth going on up here. Jack Link's Feed the Beast going on over there, as well as the Steel Pier. Steel Pier has a beverage booth over here with different sorts of sodas, waters, and I believe tonic water as well, if you are so inclined to need tonic water.
Need to have AJ up in the tower, please. AJ up in the tower. Oh, AJ, if you'd like to be up in the tower. AJ, check that. If you're busy, no worries. You don't have to come up. Psych it. Yeah, the guys are ready. We got the juniors. So we're going to go ahead and get fired off with this. All right, again, we're ready to go with this pro show. We are going to do the invocation first with Brian O'Rourke at Team Faith. And man, I tell you what, Brian, every year we've had the opportunity to hang out with you, but this year you really have taken it up a notch. I really just want to say a special thank you to you for not only being here at all of the races and helping us out with the devotionals in the morning and also these invocations right before we get running, but you just go to the next level, and now we're doing smoothies after the races.
Yeah. I knew we were getting, when you started complimenting me, I said, this is about the fruit smoothies, isn't it? Free fruit smoothies right after the races, everybody at the Team Faith rig or holler or whatever you want to call it. It's a little ways away from the race, you know, the site, but it's worth it. It's a free fruit smoothie.
I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of reasons why I love you and your family, but that definitely went right up to the top of the list. All right, we are going to fire this off. 2 minutes. We are going to fire this off in 2 minutes.
Perfect. That means I get to talk more, right?
It does. Go for it.
Don, you mentioned we've been around for a while. Since '96 was our first year on tour, and we're really blessed to be out here. It's a privilege and an honor to bring a church service to the riders. You know, we, travel for a living, and for some of us, our relationship with Jesus is very important, and we want to continue to grow in our walk and in our witness. And bringing the word to the race site helps get a lot of these guys their mind focused and their attitude focused on going out and doing what they're passionate about, which we believe is straight from the Lord anyway. That passion.
Well, you know what's cool, Brian, is that you're able to work both sides of this. You understand the racer mentality because you are a racer. You've actually been out on the water for years and years. You've been a part of the World Finals, a part of the national tour. I mean, just an integral part of pro watercross. So to have you be able to not only help us out behind the beach, but you also are on the water, and I think that kind of participation makes it even more special to have you be here.
Well, I appreciate that. I think my better days are behind me already, unfortunately, at 50 years old. But I do enjoy throwing a Lego around the ski. And, we could come out here and just do the spiritual side of it. But again, that passion, God has given us a passion for racing and watercraft, and we like fulfilling it and honoring Him and glorifying Him out publicly and boldly on the racetrack too. We got a great racer in Kelly Smith, who's a defending national champion, and then our new guy from one of our arena cross riders, Dawson Newby, is here trying out watercraft for the first time too. So we're excited and we're blessed.
Well, I'll tell you what, without further ado, I think that's the perfect intro. I'm Dawn Dawson, and I'm here with Brian O'Rourke. You are watching the Pro Watercross National Tour right here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And let's get rocking with this. Let's start with our devotional from Team Faith, Brian O'Rourke.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let's pray. Father in heaven, thank you so much for a beautiful race site, beautiful day. We get to do what we love to do, and we give you all the praise and the glory for that. We invite you to be part of our show here, part of our event. Keep all these athletes safe from harm as they compete at the highest level here. Thank you for all our race crew and our promoters and our staff that work so hard and so diligently to help us fulfill our dreams and passion here. And Lord, somehow, some way, use us to bring glory to the kingdom. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have you please rise and remove your hats in honor of our great country and, of course, the military that take care of us and help us keep this country free. Again, we have the flag right up here in the tower, the national anthem. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing. We're going to fire it off with our juniors. This is junior ski 10 to 12 and junior ski 13 to 15 down on the line. Out of Denver, North Carolina. He is aboard a Kawasaki and 12 years flying. He is also sponsored by Fly Racing, Champion Power Sports, and Mom. Boat number 5, Osric Elar.
Out of Broward Motorsports, riding for Judge Motorsports, Exotic Signs, Shuey, Jet Pilot, Wambleton's, and I saw out of Cooper City, Florida. Give it up for number 51, Sammy Neem.
And he comes out of Ackworth, Georgia, sponsored by Farthing Racing, Mountain Motorsports, and Jet Pilots. Boat number 116, Dev Dog in the house, Devin Farthing.
Out of Port Charlotte, Florida, riding for Wade Chapin, Broward Motorsports IPD in action. Give it up for 295, Taylor Skellett.
And out of Port Charlotte as well. And if they sound like they are related, it's because they are. Also sponsored by WCP, Action Jet Sports, PC Security, and IPD. It is boat number 296, Hayden Skellett.
And then out of El Dorado, A.J. Lewinstra on 321 Kawasaki Hurricane Racing and HydroTurf at 16 years old, running, no, he can't be 16, 13 to 15.
He's actually just turning 16. Oh, gotcha. That's why they're going to let him finish out the season.
My misinterpretation. Anyways, A.J. Lewinstra. The Lewinstra family, hardcore racers from back in the day. I know this because I used to race against them back in the day.
Yes. You raced against the juniors back in the day?
No, they would have whipped me.
That's a true story. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this junior program. By the way, you're watching Pro Watercross. We actually travel all around the country, and these juniors actually travel around the country with us. What they are doing is working to get points in 2 different divisions in this junior class. They have the 10 to 12-year-olds, and they have the 13 to 15-year-olds. That's how we break them out. Now, we only race them in stand-up, as Mike Remar knows. We don't do the runabout racing with them yet until they get a little older. And we limit the horsepower on them. So think you're going to have some fun watching these guys? Definitely some of the future champions in our sport. I'll tell you more about that after we get them out of the gate.
How about it, ladies and gentlemen? Put your hands together for the juniors. These kids are locked, cocked, ready to rock, and you are going to see some hardcore racing action in the ocean right here at Atlantic City. What an awesome venue. It's go time. All right, so what happens is the flag goes in the air. This race is underway. They've started hitting the waves. There's some carnage already with bodies in the water. It's a red flag start. We're going to pull them back and start again. I think that there was some premature racing taking place right there, and we're going to call it back. Re-rack them, restack them, repack them.
That's kind of rare, actually. Oddly enough, in the junior division, I don't normally see the red flags. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but they're actually usually even better than some of the expert divisions on getting out of the gate without jumping the band. But you know what? It's first race of the day. I think they got a little amped up.
Well, he's got this in from Carson Batchelder, the race director. He said a couple riders weren't ready, which you can imagine trying to hold the machine steady, be in the tray, be ready to go. You're just 10 years old, and all this is going to unfold at 10 years old. A couple riders weren't ready. We're going to call them back. We're going to re-rack them, and we're going to start this race over.
All right, you guys. Did you just say re-rack, repack them? That's such a blast from the past. Man, I feel so fortunate. A little bit of history here on Mike Remar, and I guess this is probably going to bust me a little bit as well. But I started announcing, oh my goodness, I started announcing in 1998. It was my first time to sneak in the tower. I was 2 years old. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I was 3. And when I snuck up in the tower, it was this guy, Mike Remar, that you're hearing right now with me, and it was also Mike Young and Robbie Floyd. I don't know if you remember that guy. You, of course, do. But you guys might remember Robbie Floyd as well, because Robbie now has gone on. Not only has he announced motocross, he has also announced the Olympics. He was in the last Olympics as a commentator. So very blessed to be able to be a part of the sport. And Mike, it's great to have you here this weekend.
Well, thank you very much, and it's great to see some racing action. So we check down the line. You'll look at the flag man. He's checking to make sure everybody's ready to go. Green flag into the air, and this race is underway, Dawn.
Yeah, it looks pretty even as they come out. Looks like we're going to have a good man. They are getting massive waves right on the start. Kind of want to describe what that's like, and it's part of what the racing is from the juniors' perspective. But they've got to try to pop the nose of the boat up over the wave. Mike, I'll let you tell them a little bit more about that while I get the numbers.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when you're going into the waves like that, or even going across them, you got to keep that nose up, because as soon as that nose dips, you're going down to Davy Jones' locker. And you can imagine if that nose dips and you're hard on the throttle, you are literally going to drive the machine right into the ground, and that is not conducive for winning races or carrying momentum. So we got a rider on the inside split. We got riders on the, oh, no, we don't. We got a rider working their way on the outside split and down the front straightaway. Now, we had to move the race course a little further out to avoid the surf. Dawn, do you know who that is out in front?
Taylor Skellett.
Taylor Skellett out in front. Number 5? Osric Lahr.
That's Oz, actually. Oz got the whole shot. Little Ozzy is in the lead. And then it's the Skelets behind.
Uh-oh, down in the tray, though. Had a little mishap over on the right side chicane. Oz back into the tray, so he had a little bobble, allowed the rest of the pack to catch up. Looks like we got a battle going on for second and third on the right side chicane.
Looks like Slam and Sam Nemi and Taylor Skellet.
That's what we got for 1, 2, 3. So Oz in the first place, Sammy Nemi in second, and then Taylor Skillett on 295 in third.
Let me run down and confirm that really quick since we're By the way, you guys, we're going to need Sport GP. Sport GP, Sport GP. We're going to start up our pro racing right after this junior race. So for all of the guys hanging out watching, this is my cue for you to get you a spot on the beach. Because Sport GP is going to be awesome, and it is going to be up next, Sport GP.
So next up, down on line, should be the first pro race of the day, Pro Sport GP. Pro Sport GP should be working its way down towards the line. The juniors are not going to run that many laps, folks, so let's make sure we have first race of the day, the pro race, Sport GP, going to be the first race. Hey, there's a umbrella sneaking away there. Look at that guy, able to leap signage in a single bound. Nice save, my man. We still got Oz out in front there on the back straightaway, working his way to the left side of the race course. Going to work his way out on that yellow on the outside. Oz in the number 5 boat out of Denver, North Carolina. Run for Fly Racing, Champion Power Sports, and Mom. Letting you racers know we are going right into the pro racing, so it'll be Pro GP. Pro Sport GP going to be the first race of the day. White flag out, that just means there's one lap to go for the juniors here, as Oz still out in front, able to hold on to that lead. We got a move going on for third right there. There's a battle for third and fourth. It was 51 Sam Nemi in second, and Taylor Skillett on the 295 boat in third. Feeling some heat from that fourth place rider. Again, tough to call out the numbers from this far away.
All right, so it looks to me like we still got Oz in the lead and Taylor Skellett in second. One of the riders missing the buoy. AJ Lewenstra, gentleman that's running up in the 13 and 15 class, is the gentleman that's a little taller right now. You're actually watching him move through the pack.
Yeah, where's that Sport GP class, guys? Hey, we've been making this announcement all morning. We're going directly after the juniors into the pro show, baby. The pro show. I need to have Sport GP down on line. Sport GP down on line.
Really hard.
Checkered flag out. Gonna take the win. Oz picked it up with Taylor Skellett on the 295 boat, closing that gap into second.
Yeah, and then you had Dev Dog, that's Dev Farthing, who actually moved into third, and a great pass for that young man. By the way, if that name sounds oddly familiar to anybody that's been a part of pro watercross, it's because a lot of times you'll hear the juniors, and then a little bit later you're going to see the dads or the moms coming out racing, right? So in the Farthing's case, that is a big family of racers, and man, I tell you, the whole family gets involved. Dev Dog, of course, in the junior class, but you're going to watch Dustin Farthing, one of the most winningest athletes in the world, actually make his way to the shore of Atlantic City in just a moment as you watch the pro show. And also Sam Nemi's dad, Slam and Sam Sr., who's a wee bit taller, is going to be in the Sport GP, which is coming up next.
Well, there you have it. How about it, ladies and gentlemen? Let's put your hands together for those 10, 11, 12-year-olds out there doing some fiberglass warfare. along with the 13 through 15-year-olds. That is the future of the sport. I'll tell you what, if you like what you see today, depending on what state you live in, there's some laws and regulations that apply. But on the tour, 10-year-olds can race in a stock ski class. So if you like what you see, come on over, talk to one of the racers, talk to one of us on ProWatercross.com staff, and we'll fill you in. So, Carson, you're wanting to know where the Sport GP racers are. I am too. How about it, Sport GP guys? Let's go. You are next on the docket as we kick off the Pro Show.
All right, so as these guys make their way down to the line, tell you a little bit about the sport class and another little bit of history. You know, it's crazy to me, right? Like, I've started racing when, okay, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so I've been a part of it a long time. Let's just say that, long time. And I keep learning stuff. For example, we were just talking about Slammin' Sam Nemi, micro missile, right? It's like this tall. And then Dustin and Dev Farthing, also Dev Farthing this tall, about this big around. And I just heard another piece of trivia for you that their dads used to race against each other in the junior program. How cool is that?
That's super cool, Don. And hey, I see a sport boat out there. So how about a Sport GP? We should have 4 riders down online. Looking to have those guys get it set up so we can kick this thing off, stay on time. Putting on the Pro Show here, Don.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll let you do the rundown since you're in front of the sheets. And I'll actually talk a little bit, if it's okay, I'll actually talk a little bit about what's been happening on the tour, since unfortunately Mike Remar wasn't able to join us on the tour, but he's here now. So I know Mike Remar, he probably will never leave again because he's that kind of guy who loves the sport so much. So we got him back.
Yeah, like a dog, protect your legs.
So as these guys make their way down to the line, I guess I'll hit a little bit of history for you. I talked about this being the 5th round. So in the recap, let's talk about Sam Nemi, because I tell you what, it has been the Sam Nemi show the entire year in the sport class. Gentleman that came on the national tour was not able to do all of the tour spots last year, but still able to grab a podium position. This year, though, he has been on fire. And of all of the people that we had seen that had been winning consistently week after week, in that massive series of upsets that happened in St. George, he is the only rider that came out of that with that continued winning streak. Now, update, because we got a spoiler in the mix this weekend. Johnny Smith is in the house. Now, here's the story behind Johnny. Incredibly fast racer. He's got a full-time job. It's hard for him to do the national tour. So he did the first couple of tour stops, and he put the hammer and a lot of pressure on Sam Nemi and also on Kelly Smith, no relation, but Kelly Smith, who, by the way, you're going to see in just a minute on the line. And Kelly Smith is the guy that comes into this tour year your defending national champion in Sport GP. So that kind of gives you some background on these riders. But man, keep your eye on this gold-colored boat, because that is going to be the dark horse, and that is Johnny Smith, and Johnny's on boat number 72. And this guy is fast, and what a Cinderella story. Back to you, Mike Remar. Do the rundown, sir.
All right, down on line out of Ludington, Michigan, riding for Team Faith, Fly Racing, Western Power Sports, Pirelli, and KTM. On the number 1 boat, give it up for Kelly Smith. On the number 13 boat out of Cooper City, Florida, on the Yamaha, riding for Broward Motorsports, Judd Motorsports, Exotic Signs, and Hamilton's Sam Nemi. And out of Naples, Florida, riding for HPE, Hemsoil, Scott Goggles on 18, Sean Reynolds. And rounding out the field, riding for Trinity, Jet Pilot, HydroTurf, Novi, and KC Whitetails, 72, Johnny Smith.
All right, you guys are looking for these riders on the line. If you look over on this far left side, the gentleman that's aboard the HX, or that longer sport, that is Kelly Smith, your defending national champion. Right next to him is that dark horse rider I was telling you about, able to make just a couple of the tour stops, and that is Johnny Smith. And the gentleman that has been unstoppable is the gentleman that just popped out of the gate, and that is Slammin' Sam Nemi, already working for a hole shot.
Well, I'll tell you what, John, that wave hit right when the flag went up. They got a little crazy there. Looked like a couple of little bit cross lines, but no contact, no bumping. So a clean start, and they worked their way down that back curve to that outside left side of the course. Looks like Kelly Smith out in front on the 1 boat. Slammin' Sammy Nemi out there in second on the 13 boat. So here they come off the left side of the course. Yep, Kelly Smith still out in front, and Sam Nemi in second. Yeah, that was a nice job on the splits. Looks good. That was a real tight finish, and there we go. A change of the lead over on the right side. Sam Nemi takes the lead back away from Kelly Smith. So the way this course is laid out, folks, you have a right side chicane. So if you look at the course over here on the right side, that's what's called a chicane. It's kind of a little sweeping turn section. They go down the back straightaway till they get to a red buoy way over there on the left. And then when they come through the left side, they have a choice to take an inside split or an outside split. And that way, if you're behind a slower rider, you have an opportunity to get fresh water and make the pass. That is key. Whoa, we got a dismount. I got a dismount on the inside split. I got to get the rider number. Do we know who that is?
Yeah, I do believe it is Johnny Smith from the outside. Might be the rider down. Are you looking at a rider down? Is that what you're saying to me, sir?
Yeah, there's a rider down on the inside split, but down the front here, we still have Sam Nemi out in front on the 13 boat with Kelly Smith on the 1 boat trying to hunt him down through the right side chicane. I'm going to say I think that's Sean Reynolds on the 18 that dismounted out there. Yeah, that was Sean Reynolds that dismounted.
Oh, okay, just an update real quick. It's actually Johnny Smith that went down. Tough break for Johnny, was at third. So we've got Reynolds in third and Johnny Smith back up aboard his boat. Hey, here's the history on this guy, Remar. Johnny Smith. So, again, this is a privateer, if you can imagine, trying to put together a program to come and do the national tour. So the boat motor that he ran in Florida last year, okay, the first 2 stops, which, by the way, he won, is a borrowed motor out of the back of Mike Bartolomeo's trailer, Optimum Racing trailer. And Cat Daddy actually said, look, I love you. You're a great racer. We're going to put this motor in, and we're just going to see how you do. Against all of these hot racers, I'll tell you right now, one of those boats out there, easily 40 grand. That's it, about what we're talking about to put these boats together. And here comes Johnny Smith on this kind of cobbled up privateer, beat up life jacket, and then proceeds to win the races in Florida. That's why I'm calling him the dark horse. This guy is incredibly fast.
That's a great background story, Don. Thank you for that information. I appreciate it. Back to the racing action over here on the left side. It's still Sam Nemi on the 13 boat, being hounded by Kelly Smith on the 1 boat. Letting you know this is the first race of the Pro Show. Next race down on line should be race number 2, the Pro-Am Ski Stock Class. Pro-Am Ski Stock Class should be working its way down towards the line. Mr. Freestyle, did you get your answer?
Okay, so I'm down here with first off, the coolest sunglasses on the beach, bar none. How are you doing, sir? What's your name?
What's your name, Papa?
What's your name? What's your name?
Nazir.
Say, girl, I ain't talking to you. I ain't got time for you.
Nazir.
Nazir, I heard your name was Nazir. You're awesome, and I love your glasses. Somehow this is starting to unfold like a typical interview with me. I ask questions, they stare. Well, you're adorable. Are you guys having fun this weekend?
We are, thank you.
Have you ever seen Watercross before?
Never.
It's pretty fun, huh?
It is.
See, I'm going to get you racing. See, you watch out.
Okay, all right. I don't know.
She likes that. What's your name, sir?
Johnny.
Johnny, it's a pleasure to have. Well, what a coincidence. One of the racers out here who's very fast is Johnny.
And that's why he said it too.
Oh, that's very cool. Thank you guys for letting us bug you. Thanks for being here. Mikey.
Yeah, because their parents told them don't talk to strangers, and then you're right there sticking a mic in his face. It's all good. Back to the racing action over on the right side chicane. Your leader still out in front on 13 boat, Sam Nemi, being hounded by Kelly Smith, which I then believe is being hounded by 72, Johnny Smith. Just so you know, folks, if you're new to watercross racing, what's going to happen in this race? They're going to race 15 minutes, 12 minutes that is, I've been corrected, plus 1 lap. So they're going to go 12 minutes of solid hardcore racing, and then you're going to see the white flag come out, and that's going to let them know that there is just 1 lap to go to wrap up this race. You are currently watching Sport GP. Down online, we need to have Pro-Am Ski Stock. Pro-Am Ski Stock should be the next race of the day down online.
So, Rebar, I'm actually cruising the beach because you know me, I like to do that. And I just happened to come hang out with Dane down here at Squatch, which is one of our awesome sponsors for the 2016 tour. And Dane and I were just talking because honestly, I had not heard of Squatch before this year. So I was going to kind of get the background story.
Yeah, we're a company. We're owned by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. I'm sure you guys have heard of Messing with Sasquatch. We actually have a spot in the ESPYs and in the ESPN body issue. Squatch is sitting there in the full nude, just covering himself with some hair. And so yeah, we've been kind of traveling around doing different kind of sporting events and handing out some free samples.
Only here in Atlantic City, would we start a conversation about Jack Link's and Squatch, and the next thing out of your mouth would be a man that's semi-nude.
Yep. I mean, that's how we do it with Jack Link's. We like to push the boundaries and have fun with the job.
Well, that works for me. And speaking of that, he is also sampling some Jack Link's and some Squatch. So if you guys would like a free beef jerky right here from Squatch, one of our great sponsors, we are happy to hook you up. Mike Remar, back to you in the tower.
Thanks, Don. I love hearing about the Squatch. All right, so back to the racing action. We've still got Kelly Smith out on the number 1 boat, but I'll tell you what, coming off the front straightaway right now, it's Sam Nemi, or Kelly Smith trying to close that gap on Sam Nemi, that is, through the right side chicane. Now, 2 different makes of boats there. One's a Yamaha Blaster, rides a little higher in the water. One's a Sea-Doo HX, and it rides a little lower in the water, is a little bit longer profile. How many spectators do we have here that have watercraft back home? By a show of hands, if you have a watercraft back home, can you put your hands in the air? Not that many. That's why you're at the beach. I get it. I understand. So the front of the pack moving their way up on the back of the pack. As you look on the left side of the race course, you'll find the blue boat out there, the blue machine that is at the back, and your front rider out there, Sam Nemi on the 13 boat, going to have to figure out how to get by them as they work their way to the front straightaway. The blue boat going to be courteous? Yes, he is. He's going to give the way to the lead rider down the front back.
Okay, so you are watching a little bit of the action from the gentleman that I was talking about that's currently leading in the points this year. That is boat number 13, Sam Nemi. A little bit of background out of him. He is the owner of Broward Motorsports. Also one of the nicest guys you would ever meet on the national tour. And I would actually say we've got a cool crew this year. But Sam's actually worked really, really hard, not just supporting himself on the tour, but he has also had a lot of other riders. So you'll hear us talking about BMS a lot this week in Broward Motorsports. That's actually his company out of Florida, but he's got several team riders that are here with him this weekend. But man, what a story from this guy who has managed to work this entire national tour. I think he's only had 1 second place thus far. Other than that, he has been clean, winning every single moto coming into this round. And currently, Sam Nemi in the lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're out there and you're at this event, tell your friends, text them right now, let them know that they can check this action out. It is live streaming on ProWatercross.com, and it's available on YouTube as well. We're trying to set a record today for 1 million views. 1 million views is what we want today. So if you're on the beach, you're checking out this action, and you know your friends who aren't here should be, shoot them a text, let them know, ProWatercross.com, and it's also available on YouTube, and also if you are listening right now on your FM dial 91.5. And Facebook Live as well. It's pandemonium. I tell you, it's the age of social media. Pandemonium, Carson. Alrighty, we're working our way down the left side of the course here. I tell you what, Sam Nemi on the 13 boat has led this thing with the exception of maybe the first half lap, the rest of the laps, but Kelly Smith just not leaving him alone. He's kind of got one of those bad rashes going on. You ever had that bad rash? You can't kick it. It just keeps following you around. That's what's going on right here in this racing action as Kelly Smith being a bad rash on Sam Nemi.
Okay, and while you guys are looking, you can tell an awful lot about what's going on just by looking at the flags that are in the tower. Right now you're looking at a yellow flag. That yellow flag indicates a couple of things. You got a rider down and they're having to deal with that. Or you have an indication of one of the buoys has broken loose, or you have an impediment on the track that they have to watch for. So again, that yellow flag is up. It's just like motocross. It indicates to the riders that they got to slow down and pay attention here. Now, white flag should be coming out fairly shortly. You were watching a 15-minute, I do believe it's a 15-minute moto for Sport GP. We're going to have Pro-Am Ski Stock up next, I do believe. Is that right?
That's right. Pro-Am Ski Stock next class up, and I do believe we are going to be catching the white flag, not this lap, next lap round.
So the way it works, you guys, it's 15 minutes plus a lap. A couple of other things that's kind of jet ski or watercross language so you can follow along out on the track. If I am a racer and I am on the track, in fact, I've got buoys right here, so I'll just talk about it because they're right in front of us. So if I'm a racer and I am coming up on, let's say, a red buoy, like this buoy right here, okay, if I'm coming up on this buoy, it indicates to me that this is a left-hand turn. Does that make sense? So the colors are going to tell the riders where to go. So left-hand turn means I've got to have that buoy on the left side of me. So that's, if you're looking out at the track and you see him coming up, you're like, oh, okay, red turn, red, left turn. Now, if I am coming up on a yellow buoy, yellow means right to a racer, okay? So yellow buoy, right-hand turn. Now, the times that will change is when we're in a split section. And Remar, I think you got something to tell him.
White flag out, that's right, baby. And look at this race. I tell you what, Sam Nemi on the 13 boat. Here comes Kelly Smith around the outside. He's trying to carry the momentum, and there's a lapped rider in the way. Maybe a little bit of contact there. Sam Nemi able to hold on to it. Out in front, right there at that red buoy, that next boat back is Kelly Smith. That's your 1-2 punch right there. Sam Nemi got to make it about 3/4 of a lap to pull off the win. Look at him catching air on those waves. Don, this one's hot.
So Kelly Smith, the gentleman on that longer black boat, is your defending champion. And I don't know if you guys noticed off that front stretch, but he was really close to Sam Nemi. In fact, the Nemi crew down here is like, this is getting close. All right, so Nemi, by the way, is aboard a Blaster, and Kelly Smith is aboard an HX Hull. By the way, none of these boats have been manufactured from the manufacturers like Sea-Doo and Yamaha since the mid-90s. So all of this is aftermarket stuff. This is like a retro class. Checkered flag.
Checkered flag out for Sam Nemi picking up the win. A hard-fought battle with number 1, Kelly Smith, trying to close that gap. Thought he had him on that last straightaway, but Sam Nemi closed the door. That's what it means when you don't let somebody pass and you take the line away. And it looks like going to be wrapping it up in third place on the 72 boat. Johnny Smith going to pick up the third place there. Excellent race by Sam Nemi out of Cooper City, Florida, riding for Broward Motorsports, Judge Motorsports, Exotic Signs, Jet Pilot, Hamilton's Jet Lift, and Thrust Innovations. Big win. Hey, a reminder to people walking the beach, we got to have people walking the beach behind the signs. Unless you're a competitor or a holder, you should be back here behind the signs. Next up, down on line, going to be the pro race number 2, Pro-Am Ski Stock. So these are going to be your traditional jet skis, the stand-up style with a handle pull, and these are going to be pro riders on, for the most part, stock machines.
I like how you quantified. All right, so here's what stock means, to back up a little bit of what Mike is talking about. So Pro-Am Ski Stock, really not allowed to do anything underneath the hood. So you can't deck the heads, and you can't do anything with the ports. You know, you can't port the cylinder for you motorheads. Let's see, I can't do much of anything. Carburation, you gotta be really, really careful with your carburation. Can't really mess with that too much. However, here's what you can do on a stock boat, and it can make a massive difference. And you can change the intake grate, which is that thing underneath the hull. And the intake grate is how the water comes in and how it flows in through the boat, which may not seem like a big deal, but it's actually a really big deal when you think about keeping your boat in the water and reducing your cavitation equates to a faster ride. Let's do the rundown, Mr. Remar.
Down on line out of Apex, North Carolina on the number 10 boat, Callaway Turner. Out of Naples, Florida on the 13, give it up for Chris McCluggage. Out of Miramar, Florida on 51, David Cabrera.
Hey guys, unless you are holding or on a boat, I need to have you out of the water and away from the back. Sorry about that. We just got to make sure we keep that safe for everybody.
We need holders down there too. On the 300 boat out of Sanford, North Carolina, give it up for Jimmy Wilson. And out of Doylestown, PA, on the 912, Rick Shirker. So that's right, ladies and gentlemen. These folks are pro riders, and they are riding on stand-up jet skis that have relatively limited horsepower. So because of that, it's more about the rider's technique, the rider's skill set. Still holding for some holders. Got to get some holders down there. Need a rider down on the end with a holder. Looks like Cabrera needs a holder. All right, green flag high in the sky. These guys are going to pull the machines up out of the water. They're going to take off. Set them back into the water. They're going to take off as soon as that green flag goes up. Look at that wave coming in. I predict air. Little bit of air. Oh, yeah. Look at McCluggage go. McCluggage getting big air on the right side as he's working his way, trying to pull that hole shot.
And actually, McCluggage is riding aboard some borrowed property. I do believe he is on Sam Neamy's boat right now. But how interesting that he did exactly what you need to do to get through those waves, and that is that pre-hop that I was talking about. You want to get to the back of the boat, pop the nose of the boat up and over, and that is how you run a smooth course through those waves versus facing into the waves, which you see some of the other riders having to deal with. Meanwhile, here's what's happening on the track. It looks like McCluggage with the hole shot.
Well, that was McCluggage off the inside. Who pulled that on the outside?
Wilson. Is that Wilson? It is. Jimmy Wilson, Chris McCluggage, David Cabrera, and Rick Shirker, I believe, are your top four, and Callaway Turner in fifth.
I do believe you're correct. Now, over there on the right side, it's McCluggage trying to set up Jimmy Wilson as they work their way to the double yellow. They'll go out to that red, and then it's going to be a mad dash down the back straightaway.
Hey, Mike, I'm down here with Papa Wilson's, Jimmy Wilson's dad. These guys have been a huge, huge part of racing. Great to have Jimmy back out here. I know he's got a full plate and has been wanting to do all of the different rounds. So cool to have him in Atlantic City. How's he liking it here?
We're happy to be here. We're sorry we missed today's tour out west. Just finances and time with the family and work. Jimmy's been training hard. Love the races AJ puts on. I know his people work really hard to do this, and we couldn't say enough about them and Mrs. AJ. But we got some good competition out of this weekend. Looks like Jimmy's out front. Max coming hard. I hope he can hold him off. See what happens.
All right, there you go.
Well, down the front straightaway, he's trying to do that exactly. Jimmy Wilson out of 300 boat going into that red buoy. Chris McCluggage right there battling behind him on the second. Did you say McCluggage is on OPP, other people's property, Don? He's riding OPP. He's riding Sam's boat, so that's pretty awesome. He's able to jump onto a borrowed boat and ride it that well.
Hey, Mikey. The other Mikey. I always call Mike Young that. Now I'm calling you that. I'm going to come up with another nickname.
That's weird. I usually go by Remar, but it's all good. Go ahead.
Remar works. All right, I'm down here with the one and only Sam Neamy, and I just wanted to get a recap here. We were just talking. You have missed one moto where you got second. Other than that, it has been aces for you the entire 2016 tour. Give me your thoughts so far.
Yeah, it's been a great tour. It's been an undefeated season overall, which is great. I'm bobbled in the Reno race, missed the buoy, got second in that race, but every other moto I've won, so I'm real happy. I got to owe it all to Tim Judge, Judge Motorsports, Hamilton, making a great hole, and the whole team at Broward Motorsports.
Now, I believe your family was over here busting on you and telling me that you were racing way back in the day when you started when you were 2, I believe. Way back in the day, and you actually used to race against Dustin Farthing and some of the other, great names.
Yeah, back in the day, it was a whole different world. I started racing at the age of 12 with Chris McCluggage. Dustin Farthing was a few years behind us, so he started a little bit later. And me and Chris started racing. He lived in Naples. I still live in Fort Lauderdale. And we were at all the races together. And then I raced till I was about 28. Retired for 13 years to focus on my business, and then came back where I left off, I guess.
And I noticed, talking about good buddies, that McCluggage is currently on Slam and Sammy's boat. Now, is your son actually renting this boat to Chris? And there goes the battle for the lead as we're talking.
Oh, yeah, it looks good out there. You got 2 great riders and Jimmy and Chris out there battling. This is a show for everybody to watch. 2 of the best guys in the world riding these stand-ups. What happened?
Jimmy went down. Looks like McCluggage made the pass coming off the outside split section. Jimmy and McCluggage going at it. Jimmy got the...
You never know what can happen out. You never know what can happen out there. When you're looking at it from the shore, it looks like you got just the brakes right here on the shoreline. But when you get out there, it's real choppy with little rollers out there, and it's hard to read them because next thing you know, you're in the air and you don't even realize it.
Very cool. Thanks so much for the update, Sam. We'll come back to the racing. You're awesome.
You got it. Thank you.
Well, you guys called it. Jimmy went down. He had a stumble when he bobbled it going up against McCluggage. McCluggage now has a pretty commanding lead over on the right side. Jimmy Wilson slipping back into second, and I still believe David Cabrera in third then. David Cabrera, and then I do believe Rick Shirker and Callaway Turner wrapping up the back of the pack. Down that back straightaway, those guys have it pegged. And even though these are stock boats, folks, they absolutely fly. They've got them set up to hook up to the water. You very rarely see them come unglued, disconnected from that water, because air time is not fast. Being glued to the water is fast. Reminding you that you can be checking this out right now on Facebook and on ProWatercross.com. Facebook and ProWatercross.com, as well as YouTube and on your FM dial 91.5. We're looking for 1 million views today, 1 million views today. So if you're out here in the crowd, you're checking this out, and you know someone else should be checking it out, have them go to ProWatercross.com. Check it out on Facebook, check it out on YouTube, and on 91.5 on your FM dial. Trying to get some free publicity up here. Down that back straightaway, Chris McCluggage is hooking up. You know, that was quite the battle him and Jimmy Wilson had just a couple of minutes ago through that right side chicane. Now, not that I would wish any misfortune on Chris, but I really love it when they rub, because rubbing's racing. So I kind of hope that someone closes the gap here. We can see some more tight racing action as McCluggage off the left side outside split down the front straightaway.
So again, your race leader, Chris McCluggage. Gentleman's got, oh man, I mean, he's got world title on top of world title. He's clicking into 20 world titles right now, world titles. Not that I'm name dropping, but 20 world titles. Not to mention how many national titles this gentleman has put in his back pocket. Needless to say, he could definitely put on a clinic on how to race in the surf. So if you watch him on this boat, even on a stock boat, where you have very limited horsepower, right? So when you're dealing with an aftermarket boat where you've got like a GP, so your American Express is really your only limit on that, you can really get a lot of horsepower under the hood. My point to that is that if you get in trouble, you can actually use that horsepower a lot of time to get you out. Same with motocross, right? It gets you out of trouble with that low-end grunt. But when you're racing a stock boat, 2 things come into play. Number 1, finesse. You've got to pay attention to the minor details because the horsepower is not going to save you. It's like an IROC class, right? The second thing with stock that you've got to pay attention to is keep your boat in the water, because if you can imagine, hookup equals momentum. Every time you see those riders pop up out of the water, that's called cavitation. or if they're popping up over the boat, you can imagine they're instantly losing that forward momentum. There you go. That's how to win races. You're watching Pro-Am Ski Stock as we count down these laps, and I will let you know what race is coming up next. By the way, this great race action brought to you by one of our great sponsors for 2016, and that is Bomber Eyewear.
Hey, Don, I got to make a public service announcement. We got some missing merchandise up here that might want to be claimed. Looks like William Myers, William Joseph Myers IV. If you're in the house, William Joseph Myers IV, if you're in the house, if you could come up here to the Tower of Power, that would be awesome. I think you'd probably like what we have. If you even remotely look like the guy in the photo, we'll probably hook you up.
Wait, that's me. Just kidding. I just thought it was funny that I was walking back up the tower and already the police are here, and it's not even noon yet, is it? We're breaking records.
Exactly. William Myers IV, if you could come on up here. We got some stuff you'd probably like to have. And the police are looking for you, by the way. No, I'm kidding. They found your wallet, man. Come claim it. Just a reminder, too, if you're one of the spectators here who happens to own a watercraft and be in the area, like the guy right in front of the tower here, talk to the racers. They'll tell you how to get involved in the sport. They can tell you how to get connected, how the rules go, all that stuff. And the next thing you know, you're in our family and you're racing with us.
I can't decide if that's an invitation or a warning. You're in our family, and once you're in, you're never out. That's how we roll here in Pro Watercross. Once you're in, you're addicted. That's all I'm saying. Okay, we've got Pro-Am Runabout GP. Gonna make your way down to the line. Pro-Am Runabout GP, you're gonna be up next.
Well, I'll tell you what, McCluggage made that pass on Jimmy Wilson a while back, and Jimmy's just been trying to close that gap. Looks like he's doing the 7th inning stretch right now. I'll tell you, when you race a jet ski, folks, when you race one of these jet skis, it is brutal on your back. Absolutely brutal on your back. You get back cramps, you tighten up, you get stiff. And sometimes you'll see the riders down the back or front stretch straightaways. They will actually stand up straight, stretch that back out, try to loosen it up before they go back into the crouch to try to maintain full throttle position.
Imagine that you're on a flight in an airplane for 15 hours without moving. That's kind of how their back feels in about 12 minutes.
Apparently, the folks from Steel Pier have asked me to remind folks that they're selling hot dogs and hamburgers and Cokes and sodas over here. The Steel Pier ladies. Looks like they're all signed up in their red attire. Looking good, ladies. And that's right over here next to the Tower of Power. Also, if you want to buy a Pro Watercross t-shirt, the Pro Watercross National Tour t-shirt, they're for sale right over here by the Tower of Power as well.
No. It's not if you want one. No. When you go to find your Pro Watercross merchandise, what I need you to do is come right down here left to the tower and get hooked up so you could be cool. I'm just saying. It's not an if, it's a when. You have about another hour. Mike, where's a large? Back to you, sir.
Yes, I do. We got a boat in the water over here. We got some issues. What's going on, Kenny? Holders? Swimming. There's kids swimming. I see what you're saying. Hey, kids! Absolutely not. Can't be in the surf down there by the jet skis, folks. Yep, can't. Yeah, that's a no-no. Got to come back out. If you want to do that, you got to go down there a little further. Let's pull those kids back. Thanks, Kevin Kennedy. The man, the myth, the legend, the supervisor of children.
Wow. That's kind of a new title. I like it, but that's a new title. Pro-Am Runabout GP, need to have you down making your way to the line. Pro-Am Runabout GP, you are going to be next out of the gate. White flag is out for the Mac Attack, Chris McCluggage.
Yeah, Chris McCluggage riding that borrowed boat. I'll tell you what, it's one thing to jump on a borrowed boat. It's another thing to jump on a borrowed boat and go out and win a pro race on it. I mean, that's just McCluggage.
Well, and it's yet another thing to jump on a borrowed boat that's actually set up for a junior rider. And there are some idiosyncrasies to that, right?
Well, yeah, McCluggage is about as tall as a junior rider, so it's a good fit.
Oh,
Hey, that's a short guy joke. I'm a short guy.
dude, you're on the live stream and you're in so much trouble right now. I'm just kidding.
McCluggage, I'm sorry, but I'm a whopping 5'8" myself, dude.
Yeah, Rachel McCluggage is going to be blowing your... Rachel, his number is... Area code. I'm just kidding.
Well, to make it better, he rode one heck of a race on a borrowed boat. That was my point.
True. We are considering, yes, we are continuing to finalize this white flag, which means Pro Am Runabout GP. I need to have you on the line. Hey, Mike Young, if you are listening in, I have so many stories to tell you about Ducky, David Godlington, the gentleman that did so good last weekend in Nysa, Poland. Ended up with a top 5. Congrats to him. And checker flag, Mr. Reamer, what's up?
Well, Chris McCluggage just picked up the win in Moto 1 of Pro-Am Ski Stock, so hats off to Chris McCluggage. And I tell you what, folks, if you're out there listening on ProWatercross.com, on YouTube, on Facebook, or on 91.5, this racing action's pretty hot. I tell you what, Jimmy Wilson and McCluggage got into it. Jimmy Wilson able to hold on and finish second. David Cabrera on the 51 boat going to wrap it up in third. But I tell you what, McCluggage, his regular sponsors, Monster Energy, Mac Racing, Broward Motorsports, and of course, riding some borrowed boat. I always like to say OPP.
Yeah, actually, aboard that BMS boat, Broward Motorsports. Special thanks to Sam Nemi for helping those guys out. And a great run for Chris McCluggage. Also a hot run for Jimmy Wilson, the gentleman that was so hot on the national tour last year. Still in the points, but had to miss a couple of rounds. He was unable to join us specifically for St. George last weekend. Really missed him. Meanwhile, Pro Am Runabout GP is going to be coming. Now, gentlemen, these are the big guns, right? So, when you're talking fast, if there's like degrees of fast, there's like pretty fast, faster than pretty fast, smoking hot. Runabout GP is smoking hot. I'm just trying to give you a sample.
That was a great sample. I was hanging on every word. Fast, really fast, smoking fast, Don Dawson fast. I mean,
And then there's the runabouts, which are the big sit-downs, the fastest skis, but also the biggest skis and the heaviest skis.
We're going upwards of 90 miles an hour. We have 1,500 cc motor in it, actually, with a turbocharger on it. Big boost, 24 pounds of boost we run in it. We have, laptops that got to hook up to this thing. You got to tune it all in. They got to program it, calibrate it. It's crazy. It's basically like a Lamborghini on water. We have 500 horsepower. Thing's super quick. It's a lot to hold on to. It'll throw you back in the seat.
We're the only motorsports that doesn't have brakes, so you're whipping through and in and out of there, and nobody has brakes. So you really have to know, and you have to feel your craft, and you have to know what it's going to do, and be sure it's predictable, and just cross your fingers and hope that the guy next to you knows what he's doing also.
So it's all about throttle control and knowing your machine, when to let off and when to hammer it.
Miles an hour, let's just put it that way. Now, you're not necessarily going to see those today in these kind of conditions, but I guarantee you the buoy to buoy speed is breathtaking and a lot of fun to watch. Get your cameras ready. You're about to watch Pro Am Runabout GP out of the gate.
Yeah, I tell you what,
You
folks.
ready, Atlantic City, New Jersey? The Hidden Trail Sea-Doo Pro Watercross National Tour presented by Jetlift invades the North Atlantic Ocean at Steel Pier for the Moto Surf Jersey style, July 23rd and 24th. Watch the top pros on water go bar to bar in a points battle for a national championship. Free admission and fun for the whole family. That's Friday and Saturday, July 23rd and 24th at Steel Pier, Atlantic City, New Jersey. New racer info and more at ProWatercross.com.
Machines today based on the waves and based on the style of course. These are your very best pro runabout riders in the world right here in Atlantic City at your beach. Thanks for having us. Feels good to be here.
All right, so just so you guys kind of have a sense of this, in the Pro-Am Runabout GP class, it's Dustin Farthing currently in the lead. And it is Trey Frame in second, Tim Ducat in third, and Brian Baldwin in fourth. That is your current standing on the tour points.
It absolutely is the most fun I've ever had in Atlantic City. I love that Landshark is right on the beach.
Margaritaville, everyone's having a great time.
I feel a lot younger.
Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, the Landshark Bar and Grill, the 5 o'clock Somewhere Bar.
I'll probably be there for the rest of the summer.
A new wave of entertainment is making a splash this summer at
West Virginia. He's sponsored by Hidden Trails Motorsports, Black Star, DEI, Jet Tribe, Riva, Engine Tech Superchargers. It is 21X Cameron Frame.
And his brother also out of Hidden Trails Motorsports, Black Star, DEI, Jet Tribe, Riva, Engine Tech, out of Charleston, West Virginia, on 21 straight up, Trey Frame.
He's out of Ackworth, Georgia, sponsored by Monster Energy, Sea-Doo, Mountain Motorsports, currently the contender of 17 world titles. Boat number 116, Dustin Farthing.
Running out that field out of Bellevue, Florida on 145, Tim Ducat, and 247, Dylan Osborne out of Claremont, Florida. Don, the race took off, man. You hear those big four-strokes. You listen to them winding up. And who's that out in front on the back straightaway there?
Well, I got to tell you, Dustin Farthing was lined up on the pole position. Looked great. He's going to go to the inside. It looked like Trey Frame actually getting that boat out of the hole.
I think that's Brian Baldwin on the outside, and I think it's Farthing on the inside. Let's see how this comes together as they work their way down the front straightaway. It's Baldwin and Farthing. Baldwin going to pull that hole shot on the number 5 boat with Farthing knocking on his door.
And it's going to be Cameron Frame in third, Trey Frame in fourth, Dylan Osborne in fifth. And actually, I'm still going to call it as Trey Frame out of the hole fastest, but definitely the tweaker on that outside split.
So we're missing a boat. What happened there? Okay, Baldwin down the back straightaway. Farthing must have had something happen over on the right side chicane because all of a sudden the gap is much. Oh, did he miss a buoy? Yeah, he missed a buoy, Don. He has to go out and pick it up. So Farthing missed a buoy, going to pick it up. He was in second. He's going to come back in at fourth. So down the front straightaway, we have determined that is Brian Baldwin on the number 5 boat. And now in second place, is that going to be one of the Frame boys?
No, you're right. It is actually Tim Ducat.
Oh.
It is Ducat. No, not in front. Ducat's in second, Farthing in third. But, yeah, it's the tweaker, Brian Baldwin leading.
Well, I'll tell you what, Farthing was trying to close that gap on him. I looked into the sun. Farthing missed a buoy over here on the right side and got a little squirrely, but he already has gone and picked up the equalizer buoy.
Not wasting any time. Now let's talk about that equalizer. So in the old days, what we would do if you missed a buoy, we would actually have you circle around and pick up the buoy that you missed. So let's say I missed, say, one of the red buoys over here. I'd actually have to try to circle. As you can imagine, as we got into these really big classes with full gates, what started to happen was it was causing massive issues. So, and also a safety concern. So what we did is we pulled out what we call penalty buoys. And if you notice right straight in front of the big steel pier, there is a big white buoy, and that white buoy is the penalty buoy. So if I miss a buoy now, instead of trying to circle around and cause havoc, what I'll do is just go out and pick up the penalty buoy. Now, extra comment on that, you have to pick up that buoy on the lap that you missed it. So, FYI, if you're on the final lap and you miss a buoy, and you're past that buoy, you cannot make it up.
That was an expert education. Thank you, Don. I'll tell you what, Farthing has now made the pass on Ducat, and so now Farthing's back into second, but he's got a lot of work to do to try to catch back up to Baldwin. Baldwin's so far out in front now, but we know Farthing, right? Don't we know Farthing? If anybody can make that gap up, that guy can.
I'd say about 25 seconds separating the tweaker Brian Baldwin and Dustin Farthing.
So down that back straightaway, it's Brian Baldwin out of Catawba, North Carolina, riding for Factory Yamaha Fly, Jet Lift, Champion Power Sports, and Dean's team. He's putting that horsepower to work as now an entire back straightaway ahead of Farthing.
Just a little FYI for you. Brian Baldwin just did this course in 55 seconds. 55 seconds for the GP. Now, to give perspective on that, Chris McCluggage, one of the fastest surf riders we know, and while he was on a stock boat, nevertheless, one of the fastest riders we know, his time, one of the laps, 1:10. So it just gives you a little bit of sampling of how fast these GPs can be. In surf, no less. Speaking of that, you're running a 15-minute moto, and it looks like doing a 12-minute moto. Hey, by the way, freestylers, you're up next. Freestyle. So we'll be doing some freestyle for you while we've got a little half-hour break. That will be our break. We'll be running freestyle, but the riders will get a little downtime, and it's going to be amateur freestyle coming at you, and some of our favorite riders coming at you as well. And a gentleman I haven't seen in a long time, Luke Stock's going to be here. Justin Sylvain in the house. Man, this guy is phenomenal. All that coming up next.
So we do got our freestyle ready to go down here, right? Lock, cock, ready to rock. We're going to do that freestyle right after this race.
Justin Sylvain. Hey, Justin. Oh, look, he's getting a picture taken because he's so cool. Guy that just graduated high school. Look at him. He looks like he's a model, doesn't he, for GQ?
Probably is, probably should be. Now, you do know you're up after this race, right? We're going to take about a half-hour break. We're going to do some freestyle show in the middle here. You're not going to want to miss that, folks. It's going to be insane.
By the way, I do have 3 freestylers on the charts, but I only see one freestyle boat down here. So Gordon Waniak and Luke Stock, if you're in the house, I need to have you have your freestyle boat down in front of the announcer tower. That'd be that like really cool tall tower down on the beach. Heads up. Luke Stocks and Wayne, I need to have you down here if you're going to do freestyle. Luke Stocks and Gordon Waniak. If you're doing freestyle with us, I need to have you down on the beach right in front of the announcer tower. In fact, you could just park it right next to Mr. Sylvain. Hey, again, it's final call for Luke Stock, and sounds like he is here, which is awesome. So Luke Stocks and Gordon Waniak need to have you on the beach right in front of the announcer tower. Thanks, guys. All right, can't wait to watch freestyle. By the way, thank you so much for joining us on the live stream. Here's a little bit of a recap. Water is looking awesome. It's warmed up a little bit the last couple of weeks. I'll give you the exact temperatures of that. A little higher humidity that they are definitely dealing with versus that St. George, Utah stop where we had incredibly dry heat. It was about 113 degrees, about 600 feet. About 600 feet above sea level is what they were looking at as well in St. George. But again, very dry heat. A little bit more altitude, I guess, than you would normally. Actually, I'm saying it's 600 above sea level. It's actually higher than that. And Sparks, Reno, of course, they definitely had to deal with altitude. Not as hot of a weather. We actually had unseasonably cool weather. It was running 80s in Reno. Then we come out to this round, the 5th round, and you are looking at a whole new bag of tricks. You've got, obviously, salt water you've got to deal with, so they've got a massive boat change, and at least as far as the handling. And then you've got warmer temperatures and a lot of humidity. So all of those adjustments, making that a bit of a mechanic challenge for them this weekend. Great numbers for us. Mind you, this is our very first time to be in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and we're super thrilled. We're literally lined up gosh, I would say, Rick, what are you thinking, about 300 yards maybe from the steel pier, which, by the way, a little bit of history on that. It used to be, it's got all the arcade stuff on it now, but it used to be, if you remember your history on this, that was where they did the diving horses. Do you guys remember that, where they dove the horses off and they would like go down 60 or 70 feet? Remember that? And they dove in a little pool. That was right there at Steel Pier. Also, the diving bell, the first diving bell that they ever did for the public. Check this out. It's a big bell, and you had a hose in it, and they would literally drop the bell below the water so you could be like, you know, experiencing like a little submarine. And they had that for the public to try out. So that was just two of the things that they did over in the Steel Pier, a very famous landmark right here in New Jersey. Remar, back to you, bud.
That is such an interesting lesson. That's incredible. I did not know that, but now I feel more educated because of it. So back to the racing. No, that really was awesome. I like that you know the history. Back to the racing action. You are still looking at Brian Baldwin out in front, and for a while there, it looked like Farthing was going to try to close the gap. He's not been able to, and Baldwin's so fast he's actually moving up on the rest of the pack. So Baldwin on the inside split on the big blue machine. Looks like he's going to attempt to make the pass on the Frame brothers. I believe that's Tim Ducat on 149, and one of the Trey Frame, I think, on 21. And then here comes Farthing off the left side trying to close that gap. So now you've got lapped riders in between Baldwin and Farthing.
Yeah, so the tweaker was framed for a while, but he's already worked his way through that. Race conditions, we had talked about that just a little bit. Another interesting challenge these riders have been dealing with is the closeness of the waves. In fact, I caught up with David Redinger a little bit this morning, one of our Pro-Am ski riders, and he was describing this to me like very similar to Galveston, that kind of washing machine, or New Jersey. Very close, tight waves, very hard. You don't want to get stuck in a trough and that. Definitely don't want to drop your nose down. And a tweaker was worked his way through that traffic on that blue boat, still leading. He had Ducat, and then it's actually Cameron Frame, then Trey Frame.
White flag out, just one lap to go as Brian Baldwin on that back straightaway, working his way to that last red buoy right now. Got by the lapped riders. Farthing's got to get by them yet, so a big gap here between first and second, and of course third, fourth, and fifth as well. Now I see, Don, that we're prepping for freestyle. We've got some freestyle guys down here in the water getting ready to go.
Hey, Dan Costello, can I have you up in the tower? Dan Costello, up in the tower, please. Dan Costello to the tower. Oh, Dan. Oh, Dan. To the tower, sir. Come to the tower. I'm giving you a job.
Yes! Yes, you know what this is about. Checkered flag out, obviously, Brian Baldwin with the big win. And Dustin Farthing going to finish up in second. It was a shame that Farthing missed that buoy. He had to go back out there and pick up the equalizer buoy, as it's called. And never was quite able to close that gap again. Reminding you folks, as we prepare to go into freestyle here, that you can check out all this action. It is live streaming on ProWatercross.com. You can see it on YouTube, you can see it on Facebook, and you can listen to it on your FM dial at 91.5. So we're going to have some freestyle kickoff here in a minute, and I'm telling you what, folks, if you're into freestyle, if you like to see these kinds of tricks, you can come on down here in front of the Tower of Power. That is the tower where Don and I are announcing from. That's this giant thing in the middle of the beach here. And we're going to do a freestyle competition. Now, this is not just a freestyle show. This is a freestyle competition. These guys are in this to win it, like Iserman. And they're going to pull off some incredible feats of acrobatic skill, of being one with your machine and literally feeling as if you are the machine.
Correct, you are. Bill Haig, if I could have you to the announcing tower. Bill Haig to the announcing tower. I think if we just do Bill Haig to the announcing tower. Thank you. And by the way, Carson, I do believe you have the stopwatch. If you could come back with my stopwatch, oh, great one.
Are these guys all amateurs or any?
Those are all amateurs. Probably the reverse order. Oh, no, and it's Luke here. All right, just double checking to make sure our freestylers are here. Oh, awesome. We got everybody. So you might Oh, Gordon isn't going to be competing, so just Luke and you. Thanks, Justin. You're awesome. And Carson. Could I grab that stopwatch from you? Thank you.
All right, so I'm telling you, folks, you're going to want to check this out. Yeah, the lifeguards, they got one of the best seats in the house, so that's all good. These guys are going to go nuts on the freestyle machines here. Now, a lot of these machines have very, very lightened holes. In fact, a lot of the holes, like that blue hole right there, it only weighs 60 pounds, with lightened motors, lightened fuel tanks, lightened everything, and these guys are the real deal. I mean, they're going to go big, and they're not going to go home. So just wait till you check this out.
Bill Haig, I need you to the announcing tower.
We've been announcing that. Okay. I don't like the shift flex on. Especially somebody finds out.
Yeah, just a couple of reminders, folks, that we're taking a little break for lunch right now. We've got to get some machines out of the waters. We've got to do a few things. And so if they are on the clock. And then the judges are going to rate those tricks. They're going to score those tricks, not necessarily based on how many, but some of the, the skill factor involved. And then we're going to come up with with a winner. And a reminder that these are amateur freestylers, so these guys are working on becoming pros, and I just got to tell you that these are some of the best amateurs in the U.S., and they probably already really are pros, just haven't decided to go pro yet.
Exactly. So they're going to just do a quick warm-up, and as soon as they come back in, we will start with our first competitor. Hey, by the way, this is a perfect opportunity, as soon as we're done with this freestyle, for you guys to head over to the merchandise booth. I was dripping some cold water on some of our race fans over here. So as soon as we get done with this, you guys can head over to the merchandise booth, which is right there behind me, and grab yourself a Pro Watercross official shirt. Or, if you want to be even more cool, you can get on some of the awesome Bomber eyewear. I don't know if you guys know the background on this, but Bomber eyewear actually comes from Tommy Bonacci, who still races, but Tommy Bonacci was kind of a big deal in the racing industry. He raced the sport class and a bunch of different other stuff. Anyway, so Bomber eyewear is in the house, and that's actually an invention of Tommy Bonacci, and it's eyewear that it floats. Oh, I see you guys are already getting a little fired up. I told you, get those cameras ready. These are the...
It absolutely is the most fun I've ever had in Atlantic City.
I love that Landshark is right on the beach.
Margaritaville, everyone's having a great time. I feel a lot younger.
Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, the Landshark Bar and Grill, the 5 o'clock somewhere bar.
I'll probably be there for the rest of the summer.
A new wave of entertainment is making a splash this summer at resorts. Book your room at resortsac.com. The fun is here.
I was actually practicing my scarecrow.
Is that what you're calling that these days, a scarecrow?
Well, you're actually supposed to be on a boat, and you're supposed to be doing, a flip or a barrel roll, but that's actually what a scarecrow looks like. No hand, 1 foot off the boat as you do a barrel roll. That's a scarecrow. Pretty cool. And that's just some of the tricks that you could be seeing this weekend. Of course, what we're most known for is the one-legged, oh my God, monkey jump.
Don, did you just see that big flip that Justin just pulled off? Big backflip. I mean, big. He went up in practice.
Guy's just a teenager. Just graduated high school, senior in high school this year. Just graduated, decided to come do the national tour, got some sponsors. This is like a dream come true, right? Bucket list for this guy. And for him to be coming out like this, and he's already won a couple of the stops on the national tour, and obviously that got him even more stoked, so he decided, you know what, I'm going to do this whole thing. So that's how we got such a talented athlete out here.
Hello, my name is Talon Chambers, and I'm at the Pro Watercross race. Always remember to wear a helmet, life jacket, and back brace at all times when you're on the water.
Hey, my name is Dominic and I'm at the Pro Watercross race. So that's a true fact, Talon. Because if you didn't wear a helmet, if you whacked yourself on maybe like your jet ski, you could have broke your head. But if you had a helmet on, you would have been safe. If you had a back brace on, you would have been safe. You wouldn't crack your back. And then you could ride again. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I said it. And so that's what we want to do. And we want to pump these guys up for some freestyle, right, Don?
I can't believe you just said we got loud people here. That's pretty audacious of you. It sounds like you've hung out here once or twice.
No comment.
Uh-huh. All right, well, let's see if you can, let's see how loud you can get them.
All right, looks like Justin has come in, so we're going to have Luke be ready to go. Luke, you are on the clock whenever you pull off your first trick. Don, can you see him from where you are?
All right, he just put his hand in his air, indicating to us and the judges that he is going to look for his first setup wave, and the first trick that he does, and that is it, a reverse 360. He is on the clock.
So how about it, folks? A very reverse 360 there for Luke Stocks, amateur freestyler. These guys got to find a wave. They got to pick the one they want. You can't just pick them all. You know, it's kind of like your nose. You got to find the right one. Working his way in with the wave. He just did another reverse 360. Looking for that right wave. He's coming in with them and then setting himself up. It's all about the setup. What do you think, Don? Reverse 360, a third one, trying to go bigger each time?
Yeah. All right, now just getting a feel for it, right? These waves are very technical. Nice. Another 360, puts it off camber, takes it even more off camber for that 360, does yet another one. You'll notice he's locking in, Remar.
I see that he put his feet in. Now there's footholds in these machines, people, so that if you want to stay connected and stay on, when you invert, you can.
540, 180, 360. Nice little combo there. Only a minute 14 on the clock.
How about it, Atlantic City? You like what you see? Can I get a what? Come on, people. We're louder than that. There we go.
Nice backflip.
Well, you knew when he dug in with his feet he was going to pull a backflip, or at least go get inverted to some nature.
And hold your ears here. 15 seconds left. If he starts a combination under the clock like that 360, that will still count, and we are on time.
Perfect. Nice ending with a big spin maneuver there off the top of that last wave. I'd say he timed it out pretty well. Excellent routine. Once again, your amateur freestyler Luke Stocks out of Plainville, North Carolina, riding for Hurricane Industries, True Performance Engineering, the Ski Clinic, Red Dudes, Showtime, Freestyle, Jet Pilot, and giving it up for his sponsors at HydroTurf as well. Now, we got the Brain Trust up here on the Tower of Power. And when I say brain trust, I do not use that term loosely. Not at all. Not at all. So should we keep the scores secret, Dawn, or should we give them up right now?
Oh, no, I say let's go ahead and do the scores.
Okay, so out of our illustrious judge number one, we're going to get a score of
87.5.
87.5. 87.5. After all the tricks, we got to get it on there because we are live, right? Rick's letting us know this is live. We are broadcasting, live streaming right now on ProWatercross.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on your FM dial at 91.5.
Russian satellite.
It is a Russian satellite probably picking us up. So 87.5 out of judge number one, out of judge number two. And 89. Okay, so our judges, Don, seem to be very united and real close in their scores out there on this one for Luke. Down to you.
Yeah, tell you what, Luke, you know, typically it's always tough to be the first competitor to go because the judges want to be conservative when they're doing the scores, right? So they've got that leeway to work with. But how did you feel about that run?
Yeah, I felt it was good. You know, it's a little bit out of my element for the surf riding. I'm a flat water guy, but you know, threw a couple of combos in there, and yeah, there's some nice waves, and we can do some tricks, and you know, both hopefully do well today. So
it's a bit of a difference when you're working flat water normally, and your boat is set up for that as well. When you're riding in the surf, you want a little bit more weight in the boat normally, correct?
Yeah, I mean, these boats are real light, you know, and powerful, and just powerful off the bottom end too, so yeah, they can get a bit out of control sometimes if you pull it a little bit too hard, but it's still fun.
You looked fantastic. We'll stand by and see what's next with Justin Sylvain, but great run, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for this high school graduate to make his way into the water, and you can see why. We're so proud of these freestyle riders. Justin Sylvain coming at you next.
Well, there you have it, folks. We got Justin Sylvain up out of Lake Orion, Michigan. And he's riding for Hydro Turf, Jet Pilot, X Scream, and Sport Pro, as well as Sportsman Promotions. Like Don said, just graduated high school. So, you know, he's what, 18 years old, pushing towards 19. Do we have any ladies out on the beach that would be interested in a good-looking dude who can freestyle like no other? Do we? I see a couple hands up over there.
All right, you guys, so get your cameras ready. This guy likes to go very big, and he definitely loves playing in the surf. First time I got the opportunity to watch him was down in Florida, and I mean, his first combination was heart-stopping. So right now, he's just working his way down the beach. He wants to get all you guys all hyped up.
I think he was waving at the crowd, Don. We might have him on too early. You know that, Don? He was waving at the crowd. You don't have him on a clock, do you? Oh, he wants to hear it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He wants to hear it. Come on, Atlantic City, let's get loud. Let's show the boys some love. There we go. Loud and proud in Atlantic City. Justin Sylvain gonna go big. Oh, yeah! 2 big backflips with the leg off. Now, that's not your scarecrow, Don. What do you call it? Just a one-legged double backflip?
Yeah, it could be called a can flip, backflip, or a one-legged backflip. Either way, anytime you take a leg or a foot off of that boat, you can imagine it increases the level of difficulty. Huge backflip. Lots and lots of altitude on that.
That was some big air. I tell you what, he was hanging up there around 20 feet high. Well, maybe 16, but it looked like 20 to me.
Beautiful 360, flares it out with a nice look back, just adds to that. Such a showman, and it's all those little things that he does that helps get the score even higher. Only 44 seconds in. Beautiful off the back of that wave, pops a really nice aerial 360, but I love the way he kind of just slows it down into a pirouette. It almost looks like a dance move.
Yeah, that was pretty darn graceful. It looks like he's looking to pick that next wave, going out a little bit deeper. Going to work it back in and find that perfect trick. Flat water.
Nice 360 off camber 360. That's really kind of the new barrel roll, if you will, because these boats have changed so much. If you can imagine, we used to start this. We actually did like super jets for a long time, and guys that rode and surfed did a real traditional barrel roll. That's really what the new barrel roll looks like. Beautiful reverse right off the back of the wave. I love how he popped off of that wave just before it lipped on him to do a beautiful backflip. You know, the things they're judging on, you guys, they've got major criteria they're looking at. Number of tricks is one of them. All right, another backflip for him. And you can imagine when you land the backflip, it's just like gymnastics, right? They want to land it. Kind of the common vernacular. You want to be able to land the trick. Always be in control. So they're looking for a couple of things: variety, degree of difficulty. They're looking for the number of tricks, the execution or the flow of the trick. Nice helicopter or 360. And again, you can tell timing's like incredibly critical because he's having to work on those waves, right? So what's happening on some of that where he's kind of popping down to the trays, he's just trying to keep himself as close to that crest as possible. "15 seconds left. And a big combination, and all of those are gonna count as he walks into the beach, and that is gonna do it.
Wow, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and then backflip, backflip, backflip. That was an incredible combo. Nice way to wrap up what he had doing. Now, Don, I'm going to get the brain trust together here for the scores, but you're going to get an interview down there, right?
I am, but I'm still cracking up that you keep referring to them as the brain trust.
Well, it's what I came up with. So you know what? He's not done. He's a performer. He's still putting this show on. Justin Sylvain out of Lake Orion, Michigan. Now, you know the guy can ride because he's from Michigan, right? That's where some of the best riders come from in the United States. Did I tell you I'm from Michigan?
Yeah, he is a typical He is typical a fun guy, right? He's like out there, he's got some airtime. He's like, yeah, I don't want to stop yet.
Still going big, still putting on a show. For a lot of these guys, these freestylers, that's what it's about, you know. Some of these guys want to get out and race. They want to go fast. They want to do some rubbing because rubbing's racing. And other guys just want to hear the oohs and the ahs. How about in Atlantic City? Can you put your hands together for Justin Sylvain?
That was awesome.
Well, we're going to get the scores here real quick. Don up here in the Tower of Power with the Brain Trust. Looks like out of judge number 1, we're going to get a 94. 94. And out of judge number 2, critical score here, 94.7. So 0.7 out of judge number 2. Just that much more brain put into it out of the trust that we have up here in the Tower of Power. Hey, Don, looks like he's bringing that machine in. Now, I'm no mathematician, but if I were having to tabulate this, I'd have to say that, you know, our guys did a nice job in this freestyle, and that Luke did one heck of a performance. Luke Stocks, he's going to finish it up in second place. Luke, big round of applause for Luke. Nice job, Luke. And your champion of amateur freestyle today, down on the beach there with Don. Give it up one more time for Justin Sylvain. Go ahead, Don, take it away.
Thank you so much, Justin, in the house. You are so much fun. It is impossible not to notice how much fun that you are having out there. Describe this run for me.
You know, rain in a lake, so this is the first time I've been in surf. These skis really aren't set up for this, so it's just a challenge. But, you know, go out there, have as much fun as you can, and walked away with the win. So
let's talk a little bit about the routine, Justin. You know, you've got to deal with 2 minutes of time out there. It's a long. It seems like not very much time, but it actually is a long time. Do you pre-plan this at all, or do you just go out there and it's kind of whatever you feel is how you lay down this routine?
Well, normally if it's flat water, it's easier to plan out, and it might not be set in stone, but you kind of have an idea of what you want to do. But out here, it's pretty much throws at you, and you just got to go.
How are you liking the waves?
I like it. Could use a little more time getting used to it, but it's a lot of fun.
I got to tell you, you have been opening consistency with that backflip, that one-footed backflip. I love seeing that. Were you prepared with that in your head? This is what I'm going to open with?
You know, the waves kind of flattened out, and I had that in my mind, so, you know, it worked out good.
Well, it certainly got the crowds going. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Justin Sylvain. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you guys, we are going to be going back to some racing just for you. I am Dawn Dawson, and that is Mike Remar, and we are Pro Watercross. And my good friend Eileen Elliott has already got her Pro Watercross shirt. So I just want to challenge you guys to head on over to the Pro Watercross merchandise tent and get you hooked up with some Pro Watercross merchandise official in the house. We're going to come back with racing in just 1 minute. Atlantic City, you are awesome. Thank you so much for letting us hang out with you on what I would call a picture-perfect weekend at the beach. We'll be back in just a few minutes with more action to you.
absolutely is the most fun I've ever had in Atlantic City.
I love that Landshark is right on the beach.
Margaritaville, everyone's having a great time. I feel a lot younger.
Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, the Landshark Bar and Grill, the 5 o'clock Somewhere Bar.
I'll probably be there for the rest of the summer.
A new wave of entertainment is making a splash this summer at resorts. Book your room at resortsac.com. The fun is here.
Are you ready, Atlantic City, New Jersey? The Hidden Trail Sea-Doo Pro Watercross National Tour presented by Jetlift invades the North Atlantic Ocean at Steel Pier for the Moto Surf Jersey Style, July 23rd and 24th. Watch the top pros on water go bar to bar in a points battle for a national championship. Free admission and fun for the whole family. That's Friday and Saturday, July 23rd and 24th at Steel Pier, Atlantic City, New Jersey. New racer info and more at prowatercross.com.
All right, this like never happens. What is your middle name?
Marie.
Dawn Marie. Dawn Kimberly.
Oh, nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you too. Now you're from here.
No, I'm from South Philly.
South Philly. South Philly. Okay, and so I've never been to Philly, so tell me about South Philly.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Karina. And we're from Meet AC. Today we're here on Atlantic City's famous boardwalk to show you all of the fun you can have in our destination.
A hot spot at Resorts Casino Hotel and on the Atlantic City Boardwalk is the innovative Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville Entertainment Complex, transforming into a destination appealing to visitors yearning for that island adventure.
Margaritaville is located inside Resorts Casino Hotel, while Landshark Bar and Grill is just steps across the historic boardwalk.
Margaritaville allows guests to enjoy a seasonal exterior deck on the boardwalk for al fresco dining and features an indoor stage for weekly entertainment.
Landshark Bar and Grill is the only year-round, full-service bar and restaurant on the sand side of the boardwalk and offers spectacular views.
The deck at the Landshark Beach Bar features a new bar for beachside parties. Get frozen concoctions from beer to margaritas right on the sand, complete with a fire pit for nightly beach campfires and relaxing new beach furniture.
Kick back with your favorite tropical drink and unwind on island time.
A family favorite adjacent to Resorts Casino Hotel is the world-famous Steel Pier.
With thrilling rides and breathtaking helicopter tours, there is something for everyone at Steel Pier.
The Steel Pier is going through a $4 million expansion of the world's largest observation wheel.
The 220-foot observation wheel has 40 climate-controlled gondolas that will be heated in the winter and air-conditioned during the summer.
The observation wheel is expected to run 365 days a year and will launch in 2017.
For more information, tickets, and hours of operation, visit steelpier.com.
So effortless, right? But it's actually really hot. Are you taking a picture of me? Girl, I am sweating like Mike Tyson at a spelling bee. All right, here we go. Actually, I stole that line from Mike Young, who is my partner in crime on the national tour. Thank you, guys. Special thanks to Squatch from Jack Links, our 2016 sponsor. Yeah, absolutely, you can have one. I think we got future racers right here. What's your name, sir?
Jack.
Nice to meet you, Jack. Do you like the jet skis?
Yeah.
Would you like to do...
check, check. Chuck Collins, where are you? Chuck, you're being paged to the Tower of Power. Kevin Kennedy, you trying to get that boat in the water? Is that what you're saying? You need holders, or what do you need? You need someone to pull it. Can we get some volunteers to go down to the blue boat that's up on the shore?
For BRP, the rider-centric approach is very important. The system that provides the rider more control, more stability, and more confidence is called the ErgoLock.
Once we decided to bring more power on our boats, it was clear that it needs to come with the ErgoLock.
The ErgoLock system came from the fact that when we were riding a previous vehicle, we were holding to the handlebar to stabilize ourselves. Since lower limbs have stronger muscles, then why not using those muscles instead? So what we did is figure out a way to design the seat and the footrest in order to the rider to lock him or herself on the machine, give him that person more strength and also less fatigue. When you grab the seat with your lower limb, you push with your knee in one direction and you oppose that force pushing on the footrest in order to stabilize yourself. During our testing, we use different candidates to ride our prototypes. Therefore, we need to measure them using different tools. It could be from measuring tape to body scanners, and we measure them and we correlate those data with the actual customer data in order to make sure that we develop the vehicle and the ErgoLock system for the overall customer sizes. We start from the original triangle, which is hand in relation with the hip and relations with the foot, and try to figure out another way to look at the situation. So we split out the body into two triangles. We have the lower limb triangle that provides stability, and we have the upper limb triangle that will provide more control. The lower limb stability triangle is very important because if you stabilize your lower limbs, then it frees up your upper body triangle to have a better handling over the machine than it was before. We spend a lot of time on a rider-centric approach, but we do spend a lot of time also on the middle passenger and the rear passenger comfort, control, and confidence as well. We use the same science approach for the grip. We shape the grip in order to distribute pressure, offer better control while grabbing that handle, and also there's a palm rest, so you can rest on that surface, generating more strength and also less fatigue.
The ErgoLock with the new level of powers make you so confident that whatever you ride, slow, sightseeing, fast, you're having fun.
It provides a person to be part of the machine, ride in the machine instead of being on the machine. For more information, visit your local Sea-Doo dealer or visit seadoo.com.
Hey folks, thanks for watching out there. We just want to give a big shout out to ProWatercross.com, all the folks out there watching us live streaming right now on YouTube, on Facebook, and on your FM dial at 91.5. We appreciate you watching. We'll be right back at you with some more racing action in just a few minutes.
It absolutely is the most fun I've ever had in Atlantic City.
I love that Landshark is right on the beach.
Margaritaville, everyone's having a great time. I feel a lot younger.
Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, the Landshark Bar and Grill, the 5 o'clock Somewhere Bar.
I'll probably be there for the rest of the summer.
A new wave of entertainment is making a splash this summer at resorts. Book your room at resortsac.com. The fun is here.
Question for you. Would you jump on a machine that takes you 0 to 60 in 2.2 seconds? A machine that kicks out over 180 horses.
Yeah, so 0 to 60 in just over 2 seconds. This should be a whole lot of fun.
See if experience or those young guys will take home that world championship today.
We are off and away. Watercraft, they can reach speeds of 85 to 90 miles per hour. These are the fastest watercraft on the entire series.
Accelerate from 0 to 60 or 65 miles an hour in 2.2, 2.3 seconds.
Got your attention now? Well, so will these guys. This is Pro Watercross, and it's next on CBS.
And heads left to right in front of us. He's going to have company on the outside. Here comes 502, Brian Baldwin. Baldwin had the drive.
Watercross is the only sport where you've got guys that are out there racing machines that have got 400, 500 horsepower, and you know, we're the only guys out there that don't have brakes.
Welcome back to Florida's gorgeous Paradise Coast, the Broward Motorsports Pro Watercross World Championships presented by Yamaha. You know, this is the 20th year Pro Watercross has been putting on personal watercraft racing.
Every inch of the track is different every lap.
You come out to a watercross event, you can always expect loud skis, fast skis, and a lot of pretty much carnage going on.
The massive lake is the centerpiece, a watercross dream destination. Lake Hartwell is the well-planned result of the Hartwell Dam, an engineering masterpiece built back in 1957. Come with us to the Swamp Guinea. Fresh fish, red-hot music, and ice-cold beer make for the perfect ending to a day of racing.
You know, Charleston, West Virginia is sweet. It's probably one of the coolest little places to go.
It's really cool to be in a city atmosphere. We're here in a city park, and basically a festival for the community to come down.
The Mac attack is what we call him. You can certainly see why. Look at this attack position that he's got.
Pulled a good lead and managed to win.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, that is just about a wrap from Naples, Florida. But don't forget, you can get plenty more on Pro Watercross at the official website of the sport, ProWatercross.com. We enjoyed being here in Naples, Florida. For Carly Applin, Don Dawson, and Mike Young, as well as our entire crew, I'm Dave Benz saying so long. Thanks for watching Pro Watercross here on CBS Sports Network.
All right, we need all Pro Watercross course officials back to their official positions. All Pro Watercross course officials back to their official positions. It is go time. It is time to kick off the afternoon section portion of our racing. So we're going to kick that off with race number 5, Pro-Am Runabout Box Stock Moto number 1. Should be lining up right now.
But I will definitely join y'all for a drink. All right, you guys, thanks again. All right, I gotta go back to work. As they say in Jersey, it's so hot here. I'm just kidding. That's certainly not a Jersey accent. Please forgive me. It's mostly Colorado, mixed with a little Texas. We're going back to racing, you guys. Oh, in Denver. Yeah, I'm Colorado.
I'm listening for my phone.
I probably should turn the microphone off while I'm socializing. Then again, meh.
It's all part of the game, Don, because this is a social sport. In fact, we're inviting anyone here who wants to know more about racing to check it out at ProWatercross.com, or come on over to the Tower of Power or hit up any of the racers. We're a fun family, and that's exactly what happens. You get on a ski one time, you get out there, you race, and you are addicted. No, I can't go there. Don, did you give away all the squatch? So you're coming back squatchless. And our Folks down there that are EMTs, how we doing? The EMTs, you getting a little lunch? Getting a little lunch? You still looking too hot with them pants on. I can't believe they won't let you wear shorts. You know, show a little bit of calf. Be a little bit cool. All right, just a reminder, if you're walking the beach, it's Joe and, is it Chantrice? Chantrice. Joe and Chantrice are back. How we doing? I know you moved from down there. Oh, we're good. We're good. Is that a mojito? Is it a mojito? Oh. Same difference, I think, minus a little basil leaf. It's one of my favorites, just in case later on you want to meet me over there at the pier. Or mint leaf, yeah, what did I say? Oh, good Lord. Yeah, no. Mint leaf, that's what I meant. I stand corrected. All right, let's go. Let's get that race down online. Race number 19, Pro-Am Runabout, box stock. Looks like we got 7. Are they? All right, we got 7 down online. We need to have all of our pro Watercross.com folks back to their official positions. I believe we're good to go. Let's run through the lineup of why we got them down there. Sponsored by Metal Roofing Manufacturing, Dean's Team in Riva out of Rydell, Georgia. Number 8, Jeff Dukowski. Out of Union, New Jersey. You got a Jersey boy down there. Out of Borges Towing, Jet Lift, Stotch Barbershop. 88, Michael Borges. Got a local guy down there, folks. Yeah, a little bit of local support. Out of Bradenton, Florida, riding for Judge Motorsports, Jet Pilot, and Riva. On the 110 boat, it's Troy Snyder. Riding out of Ackworth, Georgia for Monster Energy, Sea-Doo, and Mountain Motorsports. On the 116 boat, give it up for Dustin Farthing. On 149 out of Bellevue, Florida, riding for Hidden Trails Motorsports, Sea-Doo X Team, and Jet Trim. 149, Tim Ducat. If I butcher your name, I apologize. I can be corrected. On 247 out of Claremont, Florida, riding for Fly Racing, Jet Lift, Riva, and Blacktip, Dylan Osborne. And running out the field out of Bel Air Bluffs, Florida, riding for Blacktip, Jet Sports, Sea-Doo X Team, and Riva, 404, Brent Venderley. All right, we're lining these boats up. These are some big boats, folks. And just so you know, this is Pro-Am Runabout box stock, which means for the most part, you can go in there and buy this machine, bring it here, and race it, because it's box stock. So if you are interested in doing what you see here today, and you've got a machine or you're willing to buy a machine, this is the class for you. This is Pro-Am Runabout box stock. So what that means is these are pro riders and amateur riders riding box stock boats. This should be fun. Whoa, we've got some carnage right off the bat. They're catching some waves and getting crazy. And like I said, these are box stockers. You could have bought this at your dealership yesterday, be racing it today. And that hole shot got brutal. Is that Farthing out there in front on the outside? Is he on the black boat here machine as well? Farthing on the outside, pulling the hole shot. We'll figure out who we got trying to run that on the inside. Schneider on the inside, Farthing on the outside. Let's see what it's going to be as they come together and blend. It looks like all about Farthing. You got Farthing on the black machine pulling the hole shot. You got Ducat in third, Schneider in second on the 110 boat. So as they head in here, Ducat trying to make the move on Schneider. Not able to do so as they work their way to the right side chicane.
3 different teams, actually. And man, what an upset this class generated last week in St. George, right? So coming into that race in Utah, it was Dustin Farthing's show in runabout, okay? Whether he lined up for GP or he lined up in stock, he was just cleaning house. And then some kind of massive gremlin got a hold of this guy's boats, having problems in the stock class, problems in the GP class. Next thing you know, it's Troy Snyder at that last round taking the win. And that is the first time that we did not see Dustin Farthing at the top of the podium.
Well, I'll tell you what, Farthing just ran that inside split pretty fast right there. I'd have to say he really put some gap between himself and Snyder. And then you've got Tim Ducat out there. What? Oh, boy. So Farthing stretching that out, and that would put Tim Ducat now on 149 in second place.
And man, just looking out over the track, Remar, it looks like the tide has shifted as it is moving its way back or giving us more beach to work with. And as I am looking down on that start line, it looks like with that shift, it is making that start line even more dicey.
Yeah, well, we had the start line set up earlier, so the breakers were really kind of up higher towards the beach. But now with the tide recessing, yeah, it's right on the start line. They're crashing right on the starting line now. So that should be interesting as the afternoon goes on.
Well, and you noticed it even in the stock class, one of the boats that was lined up on the inside. Normally, that would be a massive advantage, right, to have that pull to the inside. The way the wave was breaking on him, though, it actually kicked the boat to the left, costing him actually the start. And that might have actually been Ducat. I'm not sure who was lined up on that pole. I didn't get a chance to look. But whoever it was had to make a major recalculation. And that could definitely cost you a hole shot. Meanwhile, Ducat has got an automatic move up with Mr. Snyder having some issues on that inside split. So your first and second place, Dustin Farthing, Tim Ducat.
We got some guys with some metal detectors down here looking for riches, and instead they found some keys. Not much to retire on here, but if you are missing a set of keys, the guys with the metal detector found them. Looks like maybe they've been there a while, but we do have a set of keys up here that if lost, and you can, I guess, yeah, to your new car, come on up here and we'll see if they actually fit and start the vehicle. Back to the racing action. Farthing out there on that right side chicane, headed to the back straightaway right now. Huge lead over 149 Tim Ducat in the Pro-Am Runabout box stock. And I can't remind you enough, folks, that these are box stock machines. So, like, literally, if you like what you see and you want to buy a machine, you could go to your dealer, you could pick that machine up, you could come here and race. Although I would recommend probably into the amateur stuff and not necessarily into the Pro-Am right off the bat.
Good.
Right, Frame?
Good advice. You know, I know dealers. In fact, I know one right down there from Hidden Trails Motorsports, and they will absolutely hook you up with a boat that you can go racing with on Monday. Cam Frame down there said, heck yeah, girl, we'll take care of them. Good people, Hidden Trails Motorsports. And you're going to see us and them in Charleston, West Virginia. That's going to be our final race and national tour stop.
I remember way back in the day when those guys first came on the tour, the Frame boys, and they were kind of, you know, wet behind the ears still, and they were maybe green a little bit. But now they got this program, and they're like rocking it out. They're the real deal pros. But back then they were all like, West Virginia, you know, all this stuff. But, man, those guys have really put this program together. I'm just giving them a little bit of grief because I can.
Oh, no worries. That's all good. That's right. The Moon Man, Cameron Frame, down there cheering his buddy on, and also his brother, Trey. Call him the Moon Man. Well, I can't really tell you the story. It's pretty funny, though.
I can imagine.
You can probably guess.
Pretty much.
Speaking of Holland.
Yeah, that does look like Ducat pushing Farthing. Ducat on the 149 boat. How did he close that gap on Farthing so much? Farthing have a buoy issue that I didn't see. Got it. Here's Farthing across the front straightaway. Halfway point right there. When you see those flags come out with the cross in it, you're looking at the halfway point to the race. So you got Ducat on the in the second position there. You got Schneider there in third. So Farthing down the front straightaway. Once again, Dustin Farthing on the 116 boat riding out of Ackworth, Georgia for Monster Energy, Sea-Doo, and Mountain Motorsports. Quite a bit ahead of the rest of the field as he is at least a half lap ahead. He's on the right side chicane. Here comes your second place boat off the outside. Now is that 404 right there down the front straightaway? So that's Brent Venderley, but he's got to be back. So you got Schneider running second on the 110 boat and Tim Ducat on the 149. Okay, so we got a lapper in between there. So here's your leader off the left side of the course here right now. We're down the front straightaway on the black boat, 116, Dustin Farthing. Closing that gap really on the rest of the riders. Over a half lap ahead now of second and third. And really closing up on fourth, fifth, and sixth position is Dustin Farthing. So we had a boat go out and pick up the equalizer buoy on the outside. Was that Schneider that went to pick that up? It was. It was. Yeah, because Schneider went out and picked up the equalizer. So we were right. We thought he had to. And he went and picked it up. So he knew and we knew. It's amazing when we come out right. Yeah, Venderley's on the 404 boat over here on the right side. Ducat's running 149. And Schneider's running third on the 110 boat. There's a lapper in the way. Well, in the middle, I'll say. So here comes Farthing off the inside split. He's got lap traffic. He's going to have to slice that through that like a knife through butter. We'll see if the lapper realizes that Farthing's knocking on his door. And he does. So he gives Farthing the leeway to let him go by. And Farthing really a man on a mission trying to close that gap. The battle for second place was between 149 Tim Ducat and 110 Troy Schneider. And Kennedy, that's why I was announcing it that way, because we figured he had to pick up the equalizer buoy. Aha! What? I was right? What? Could you say that again? So Dustin Farthing, a man on a mission, down the front straightaway. You know, Don, maybe you can, set me straight on this, but I had heard that Dustin Farthing this year was taking his winnings and donating them or something along that line. How's that going? Dustin Farthing, the guy out in front winning this race right now, is not accepting his earnings, his winnings from the race, but he's doing something else with them instead. What's he doing, Don?
Yeah, he's actually donating them to a local charity. They live in Ackworth, Georgia, so they wanted to do something cool for their town. So he is donating, I do believe, it's a local hospital. Actually, Nicole is here. I can probably get the exact place. Nicole, if you're not too busy later, if you would like to talk with me about that, who Dustin Farthing is donating his winnings to and why, That would be actually awesome of you. Thank you, girl. She's so cool. She's like right now. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Not you, AJ. Too funny.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's pretty awesome that he's donating his earnings and his winnings. That's just a really good guy that's able to do that. Take care of his community. That's what these guys do. And I tell you, he is on a mission right now, slicing and dicing through the right side chicane, working his way towards the back straightaway, going by lappers like they're not even there. Of course, they are giving leeway to him as he comes by. Looks like we are prepping for that next race, too. Down on line should be Pro-Am Ski GP. Pro-Am Ski GP should be down on line. And I tell you what, fans, you're going to want to see this class because when they take off, that's a whole lot of horsepower in a little tiny stand-up that weighs very little with some waves. Gonna be slicey, gonna be dicey. White flag out, just one lap to go for Dustin Farthing as he comes off that inside split. Kicking the tires and lighting some fires. That's an old Mike Young tune. All right, so we'll give Mike Young credit for that. If he's listening out there, thank you, Mike Young. Once again, if you are listening, you can check this out on ProWatercross.com. You can see it on YouTube. You can see it on Facebook. And you can listen to it on your FM dial on 91.5. Farthing going by lappers on that back straightaway, about to pick up the checkered flag as he comes through on this next lap.
Need to have Pro Ski on the line, Pro Ski GP on the line. Thank you. And,
did Farthing break on that last lap? Or did he already go through? Farthing was coming through, coasting along pretty good, and now he's coasting by this last lap.
He is making everybody go another lap. That's exactly right.
Ah, gotcha. That's funny.
Sneaky.
So, Farthing had to pick up another lap there, but he did pick up the win because he was miles ahead of the rest of the field. So that would have put Tim Ducott on the 149 boat in second, and 110, Troy Snyder out of Bradenton, Florida, picking up third place. Next up, down on line, Pro-Am Ski GP. Pro-Am Ski GP.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah. All right, you guys, you need to put your tray tables in the upright and locked position. And that's an absolute direct quote from Mike Young, because we're going to go Pro Ski GP racing. Now, I've talked about how fast these runabouts are and that those guys will clock upwards of 90 plus. Well, these stand-up riders, 68 to 70 miles an hour in stand-up.
Yeah, so these Pro-Am Ski GP boats down on line are the fastest skis in the world. These jet skis weigh very, very little. They have oversized motors in them, and they go like heck. And these guys can ride. The surf is going to make it a little more complicated today. I almost wonder if some of the GP guys will ride slower boats in this class just because of the surf being an issue. All right, so the holders are down online trying to call their riders in. Don, do you wanna run through the lineup here and see if we can get straight on who's in line?
Yes, I do.
Well, you look at how far the water has gone away, how much the tide has recessed, and what once was deep water is now very, very shallow water. Don, let's call them off and see who we got online.
Out of Yakima, Washington, sponsored by Commander, RM, Fly, Blosian, Villain, Jet Trim, Rhino Power, and 360 Fly. It is boat number 3, David Redinger.
Out of Liberty Lake, Washington, riding for Commander on 24, Derek Helm.
And out of Naples, Florida, sponsored by Monster Energy, Mac Racing, Broward Motorsports, K1, Jet Trim, Jet Pilot, Jet Lift, ADA and Liquid Militia, boat number 30, the Mac Attack, Chris McCluggage.
Out of Miramar, Florida, riding for Broward Motorsports and Team Mean Racing on 51, David Cabrera.
And out of West Harrison, Indiana, sponsored by Factory Yamaha, ETS Racing Fuel, Jet Renew, IPD Graphics, ADA Racing, HydroTurf Fly Racing, Wiseco, and Judge Motorsports, 94, Josh Head, Josh Block.
Out of Apex, North Carolina, riding for Hurricane Performance, Amsoil, Advent Ignition's Imagination, 106, Bill Haig.
Out of Sanford, North Carolina, it is Jimmy Wilson aboard the Judge Motorsports, Jam Racing, Hidden Trails Motorsports, IPD Graphics, ADA Racing, and ProWatercraftRacing.com.
Wow, that's a mouthful. Out of Spring Grove, PA, riding for Full Spectrum, IPD Graphics, Riva Fly, and Jet Pilot, 812, Mike Kelber.
And out of Doylestown, Pennsylvania, sponsored by Jet Tribe, Fly, ADA, Full Spectrum, Scat Track, Bullet, Hot Products, and Riva, boat number 912, Rick Shirker.
All right, well, if we look at what's happening in the split section here, is that McCluggage out in front on the lead on the 30 boat.
Attack. It looks like Wilson in second place, the Hurricane. That's Bill Haig in third, and Redinger in fourth.
Well, there you go, rounding out your top 4. Looks like McCluggage pulled a killer hole shot. McCluggage out in front, Jimmy Wilson running second, Bill Haig on the 106 boat running third, and then David Redinger on the 3 boat running fourth.
Yep, got Derek Helm aboard that K1 boat in fifth. And could I have Jessica Waters down in front of the tower to see AJ? Jessica, down to see AJ. Jessica, by the way, our official photographer for the national tour. We love her. Oh, look at that backstretch. And Redinger putting the pressure on Bill Haig, affectionately called the flying tennis ball. You can certainly see why with the bright green helmet and bright green boat. Makes it very easy to find that guy anywhere on the track. Actually, very smart move on Bill Haig's part.
So there they go down the front straightaway. McCluggage still out in front on the 30 boat. Monster Energy Mac Racing boat. In second, Jimmy Wilson riding for Judge Motorsports. And, Bill Haig still holding on to that third position on the 106 boat. Bill and I were talking earlier, and I had let him know that my 49th birthday was just last week, and he said, Remar, I got you beat.
So the Mac Attack, once again, proving just how talented this guy is in surf conditions. Truly, I would say, if I were to have to pick 3 of my top riders in surf, I would say Jeff Jacobs, the Jammer for sure. But honestly, Carson, right behind him has got to be McCluggage. There's just no question. And, from there, I'm not even sure who I would put in third, because there's quite a few that are pretty talented, but just at the skill and talent level of the Jammer and McCluggage. And you can see why, and one of the reasons, and obviously Wilson has been another just upcoming, and I haven't announced for Jimmy Wilson as many years as we have, say, for Jeff Jacobs and Chris McCluggage. Nevertheless, gentleman's been racing, almost a decade, I do believe. Wilson's been a part of the scene, and incredibly talented young racer. But yeah, when you look at, just watch the guy in the lead. Best way to describe it to you is just watch. It's very smooth. If you didn't know any better, you would have no idea he was racing in 4 or 5 foot swells.
My hour hand is covering up my
So just letting the rest of the racers know, after this race, this will be end of the pro show on day one, and we'll be going to amateur racing. So race number 2 will be up next. Veterans Runabout Box Stock. Veterans Runabout Box Stock will be up next down on line. So Veterans Runabout Box Stock Moto 1 next up down on line. Well, this Pro-Am Ski GP race just coming unhinged is Chris McCluggage, where he is just checked out of this one. Front of the pack, moving up on the back of the pack. McCluggage on the 30 boat. He's being followed by Jimmy Wilson on the 300, Bill Hague on the 106, David Redinger on the 3. I know Redinger was knocking on the door of Bill Hague. I was going to see if he got by him or not.
Yep.
Does not look like it.
I think he did, actually, yeah. I think Redinger, gentleman that's currently running 3rd on the national tour. By the way, here's the current points, which definitely are going to get shaken up this weekend, Remar. And the way it works right now is that coming into this round, it was Tyron Matzuris with 200 points, who, by the way, is not in this lineup. And then Dustin Matzuris came into this round with 199 points. And the gentleman that was in 3rd is a gentleman that's, you know, oddly enough, back in 3rd right now, and that is David Redinger. That's going to really move him pretty far up on this point structure. And then in 4th was Brock Austin, who also, which actually shocked me, also was a no-show this weekend. So I'm not sure, maybe they just weren't able to come out or they had a conflict. Yeah. Or are they watching? Brock Austin, where are you? We miss you guys. Yeah, you should not be goofing off, sir. I even had a Shark energy drink in honor of you and Mike Young, and you're not here. And I miss you. I miss Carrie and Bill and Brock. Darn it. Anyway, I'm glad you guys are listening in, though. Oh, by the way, we've got quite a few guys that are watching from Europe. I want to give them a big shout out. If Ducky is watching, David Godlington. Super glad you were able to meet Christina this past weekend. I'll tell you guys later all about that story. It was crazy. And Ducky told me to do a shout out for Mike Young, but Mike's not here, so I'll just do a shout out for Mike Young, for David Godlington, a.k.a. Ducky. Both of them are locked in. We should call Mike, don't you think? I think I should give Mike a call and just give him a hard time. Meanwhile, back on the track, let's chat about what's been happening with Bill Hague on this front stretch.
Well, it looks like Bill Hague, who was in 2nd, slipped back to 3rd as Redinger got by him. Now it looks like Josh Block giving a run for his money. I thought I saw the 94 boat out there of Josh Block trying to sneak up and get by and do battle with Hague. But I tell you what, McCluggage now lapping his way up through. He's working through a whole bunch of lap riders. He's absolutely on fire. Big gap between him and Jimmy Wilson. Jimmy Wilson coming off the left side of the course now. McCluggage just working his way through lap riders.
He is just a spectacular racer. Gentleman right behind him is about, I'd say about 20, 25 seconds off that pace, not far behind. Jimmy Wilson, Jimmy's riding a smart race right now. You know, he is not going to just be all over that throttle. These GP boats are tweaked out big time, just like the runabouts. It is a lot to ask an engine that is that on the envelope, right? Like that finely tuned to work a 12-minute moto. So if you've got a good gap, and you get an opportunity to kind of give yourself a break and just pace yourself, and Wilson's doing exactly that. He's playing a very smart game. Gentleman right behind him in 3rd, David Redinger, same thing. David, by the way, poised after this race, Remar, to move up into the lead. You know, depending on how these points shake out, because McCluggage unable to make a couple of rounds. He had to actually get relocated, move back down to Florida.
Well, Bill Hague just hit a buoy over here on the left side. He hit it. That didn't go well for him at all as he went down in the water, giving up 2, 3, 4 positions. And I think he's trying to figure out which way he's up, getting back on the machine and ready to go. Definitely discombobulated there for a second after hitting that buoy. He hit it stone cold dead on.
So Derek Helm and David Cabrera to pretty awesome guns on the national tour working their way through the right-hand side of the track. Now, I talked earlier to you about red buoys versus yellow buoys, right? Come up on a red buoy, you're supposed to take a right turn. One of the things you're going to notice these guys do is they have a lot of respect for this surf. So in a flat water race, I mean, you can see them skimming those turns. They're going to come so close to those buoys that you really very rarely see any air between them. However, surf is a whole nother game, right? Like racing in the river, same deal. You don't want to get too close to it because two things will happen. Surf could hit you and you can smack you right in or off of it. You can miss the buoy. I've seen that happen quite often because surf will push you one way or the other. So you've got to ride the waves and ride that surf as much, if not more, as you actually ride the course. And I think that's what makes surf racing for me so fascinating to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole nother game. And then you've got to configure where guys come from, too. Like, are they flat water riders? Are they big water riders? Or even like, like Carson and I, we're from Michigan. So we got a lot of flat water inland lakes, but we also have some washboard stuff going on in Lake Michigan. So it's crazy.
You have big waves, absolutely. So you've got a lot of opportunity there to practice in that. You see that blue and yellow flag come out, by the way, if you're watching the tower communication. That indicates a lapped rider. And that's what it was. It was Jimmy Wilson actually was coming through, working his way through some lap traffic. I see Bill Haig, the flying tennis ball, back up and going. Tough break for him. You're right. He had that second place start. But moving backwards a little bit.
Yeah, he did have that second place start, and he's representing the older guys, too. Like I said, I was talking to him earlier about, really, I turned 49 last week, and I don't race anymore because I'm old. Bill Haig's older than me, and he's still doing it. It kind of makes me feel like a pansy right now.
Pansy.
Although, you look at the way a guy races, too. You probably remember Shoopy.
I do.
We used to make fun of Shoopy because he would start, and he was like a pair of jeans, right? They were nice and blue when you bought them, but they fade as they aged. So as the race went on, he started to fade a little. Shout out to Shoopy. I know he might be listening, but who knows?
I hope so. If he is, it's so much fun to always talk to that guy. Again, a big shout to all the guys from Denmark and Hungary and Great Britain that are listening in. I want to thank you guys for joining us on the live stream. So Jimmy Wilson on the right-hand side of the track. You can find Jimmy. It's on that blue and white boat. He's got a blue helmet. Kind of makes it pretty easy to eyeball him. He's on the right-hand side. He's working his way through some lap traffic right now. Gentleman that's on that front stretch right now. Wow, what a story here. This guy's name is Derek Helm. And Derek just started with the Commander team not terribly long ago. I think he just picked him up officially on the team for Commander last year. And they have been systematically grabbing these really top riders. Derek Helm, definitely one of them. White flag. Everybody knows what that means. Hallelujah. One more lap to go.
White flag out for Chris McCluggage as he's quite a bit ahead of the second and third place riders. Jimmy Wilson still in second on that 300 machine. About a half lap lead that McCluggage has over the second and third place riders here.
Hey, by the way, congratulations to David Redinger. Just got married last week. His dad, Kevin Redinger, got a chance to catch up with him, and he's a little tired. That's a big deal.
I remember when David Redinger was in the juniors and was racing.
Well, he ain't no junior now.
I know. This is like a mind warp for me.
I know.
Let's do the mind warp again.
I know. There's more of that
warp
coming at you, I guarantee. But yeah, he just got married. And super excited about that. But, I was just thinking about that. He's got to be a little worn out because that is, that's an event. Just putting up with the awesome wife to be on those things. What happened down here? We got a checker flag.
Well, Chris McCluggage walked away with this one as he ran away with it. So a big round of applause for Chris McCluggage picking up the checkered flag in the Pro-Am Ski GP. Looks like Jimmy Wilson going to wrap it up in second. I do believe David Redinger in third. Finishing off the outside split section right now. Well, I'll tell you what, that's going to wrap up our pro show for day one. We're heading into some hot amateur action now. So this is where things are going to get a little bit exciting. You got different skill level riders out there going to war, doing some fiberglass warfare. So we need to have the second race of the day down on line. Veterans Runabout Box Stock, motor number 1.
Yeah, if you want to do that, we'll do the rundown. That'll work out perfect. For 30 seconds? Oh, all right. So it'll be a quick rundown.
That's the first.
Check, check. Down on the line, Vet Runabout Box.
It absolutely is the most fun I've ever had in Atlantic City.
I love that Landshark is right on the beach.
Margaritaville, everyone's having a great time.
I feel a lot younger.
Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, the Landshark Bar and Grill, the 5 o'clock Somewhere Bar.
I'll probably be there for the rest of the summer.
A new wave of entertainment is making a splash this summer at Resorts. Book your room at resortsac.com. The fun is here.
Are you ready, Atlantic City, New Jersey? The Hidden Trail Sea-Doo Pro Watercross National Tour presented by Jetlift invades the North Atlantic Ocean at Steel Pier for the Moto Surf Jersey style, July 23rd and 24th. Watch the top pros on water go bar to bar in a points battle for a national championship. Free admission and fun for the whole family. That's Friday and Saturday, July 23rd and 24th at Steel Pier, Atlantic City, New Jersey. New racer info and more at prowatercross.com.
Hi, I'm Dawn Dawson on the Pro Watercross National Tour. You've been watching round number 5 right here in beautiful Atlantic City, New Jersey. Definitely a higher degree of humidity, great temperatures, and a ton of people. Remar.
Oh, yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. What a great venue. It is pushing 100 degrees today. It is very, very humid. You'll note from the glare on the top of my melon. But I tell you what, we saw some incredible racing. The crowd here, immense, and they have seen just incredible racing, an incredible show. What a day.
Yeah, I tell you what, thanks to Visit West Virginia for taking care of our live stream and sponsoring. And speaking of West Virginia, we are only 2 stops away after this to go to that national final. And I tell you what, the points now are starting to get a little crazy. I think the biggest surprise for me, Remark, coming into this weekend was the fact that Matsuris is in the lead in this GP class and actually unable to make this round. That to me was a huge surprise.
Well, yeah, you know, they weren't here. We just watched Chris McCluggage run away with it. I mean, it was pretty impressive win, but Jimmy Wilson was right there, David Redinger was right there, and the Matsuris is sacrificing those points. Boy, it's going to shake things up.
It is going to shake things up for those guys, but I tell you what, team commander still in the house. David Redinger, of course, riding for Steve Weber and the crew, and he looked flawless. And I'll tell you who else was an awesome ride that we got to see today that I haven't seen in a while. And a big shout out to Mr. Shirker, Rick Shirker, on that signature 912, gentleman that did so well in China a couple of years ago. Great to have him back out here and a lot of the local products that we're getting a chance to see. Of course, Dustin Farthing looked flawless today, and of course Sam Nemi continuing the Nemi Domination World Tour happening right here. But I mean, man, I got to just looking around. We've got, what do you guesstimate? 5,000, 10,000 people here?
Oh yeah, I bet there's 7,000 to 10,000 people here up and down the lakeshore. You know, they've been very gracious. We're hosting the event here in Atlantic City, and they just really joined in. It seems like one big happy racing family. I'm loving it.
Got to say one other big shout out actually to you. We broke a record last week. Just want to talk about that from St. George, Utah. Big props for Rick Ignacio, of course, AJ Handler, and everybody on the crew that's been working so hard. We actually topped out and went viral in St. George, Utah, of all places. We had over 300,000 views. It went a little nuts. Everybody was, honestly, we were pretty shocked. So I want to thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for talking about Pro Watercross. We're going to go ahead and do the wrap right now on the Pro Show. We'll bring it back to you, though, tomorrow right here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Please tune in. Again, special thanks to Jack Link, Squatch in the house, and all of our great sponsors. And my gosh, I'll see you pretty quick. We miss Mike Young, but Well, we got Remar here, and Remar, it's like you never stopped. It's so awesome to have you.
It feels good to be back. I mean, I tell you, I took a few years off. I do some other sort of events, but, you know, Rick was telling me that people are chiming in out there, checking things out in the live stream, so thank you. Feels good. Dawn, this is a good time. Make sure you check us out again tomorrow. Same bad channel, same bad time.
All right, peace out. We'll see you tomorrow right here on the Pro Watercross channel. Bam.
Are you ready, Atlantic City, New Jersey? The Hidden Trail Sea-Doo Pro Watercross National Tour presented by Jetlift invades the North Atlantic Ocean at Steel Pier for the Moto Surf Jersey style, July 23rd and 24th. Watch the top pros on water go bar to bar in a points battle for a national championship. Free admission and fun for the whole family. That's Friday and Saturday, July 23rd and 24th at Steel Pier, Atlantic City, New Jersey. New racer info and more at prowatercross.com.
It absolutely is the most fun I've ever had in Atlantic City.
I love that Landshark is right on the beach.
Margaritaville, everyone's having a great time.
I feel a lot younger.
Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, the Landshark Bar and Grill, the 5 o'clock Somewhere Bar.
I'll probably be there for the rest of the summer.
A new wave of entertainment is making a splash this summer at resorts. Book your room at resortsac.com. The fun is here.